no adifia gudemu nsam no emfa amamo awo aye dwumadi so enchakra and costa betena se na and ye de akwamane ne so na anani nsam ne de nkomo de afi ho na yabefie ne commercial asante kotoko edna abe the focal point omo edna yabe discuss on this particular network enti oya asante kotoko fana ene ma fidie na na yabe din komo pi etimi ade afa aye utim no ho yamama training adama se for chosen insure passports and now pay na mesaw nya radio so kwa na betime tie dwumadi oko YouTuber insure TV YouTube insure TV say on subscribe yam patwa da subscribe channel no mame na uwia oda message no ye kwam ni aba ye ba click messages awodo amode abayen awo aye dwumadi so of course unyate UEFA Champions League sing to na say enne UEFA Champions League they sign atwaso with the semi-finals where the second leg enne and so eba so awo abroche na de tiene Arsenal abobo Atletico Madrid ye dem say the first leg no Arsenal to Atletico Madrid and ko ball 1-1 intene the multi-billion question and say why in a benya ticket no ko final no and so be eno and ya ba me ma be for you better sound common awo aye dwumadi so of course EPL Monday Night Football na nya se gutu anu a ewia gede na Red Card FC jigu amodin din Chelsea tifie am Nottingham Forest ekoto am sa Chelsea te kano aye baako na saa game no mo pon ya even no mo pon kra na supporters no dodo na na dia kra na Chelsea eniema ben na ekoso yi ene supporter dodo na no mu free ayago pamano so na no na de maintain say so mo be stage a demonstration kese pa on be hit street na on my two demonstrations na ni na the details and more at the ebremo awdwadi so of course say Barcelona and so no amopa Anthony Gordon ausina kan edema aye Newcastle and SMP na ebe free amonania ba na no pay commercial sante kotoko say enema nkuhi Ocean League atwede na after Monday 30 no asante kotoko etoso eye nwotwe and it seems as a debia the discussion around the kotoko non performance no ni a link it to coaching ne nyade ni apam no coach fufuro ba the same result and it seemed like MSAD no beyond coaching quantity ne your focus no will be on the players and ankasa performance and they be doing komo abo aye dwumadi so this so many more and atie for ya tenasia Tuesday edition of Nhyira Guitar Passports ya bobo ni nyina no na ede ebrem namum gise Andy ede akwam ne neba na ensema kani na no yatimi ede abramo Nhyira for okay
from me mama mo side rather than say me your friend is saying
sure
the papa side
yeah. That's true
upa with my carbon
nti achem then equiapem okay that's fine so be fine
be come
okay on the is bo EPL qualify for Champions League
EPL you qualify for Champions League aye Mo for you man match
oh yeah
I think he deserves it. He has done a very good job.
Can't get Edmond.
Why Edmond? To for man, my mom you
Akwani coach to
top notch.
Is okay Europe dia coach be any.
Yes, I agree.
No coach. A Premier League no penifu wa show bia. Until was grad in kuno.
So no bia.
Who trying to say
all you bia.
Mo pepi the next one level.
Why don't you?
Mo say ateta Premier League ni madwuma che obi oboss we. Ateta. Mo sheno.
Sekasa.
Catch Aquano Bantam can be Premier League no.
Since I'm some from
Tiami Adman next season, you confirm me. Every trophy, domestic
and foreign,
in the Nigeria. Oh, never confirm no. Just a matter of time
because he has proven beyond reasonable doubt that he's a top manager.
Top.
I mean, Sedibia, you didn't come say football is about results, and results is what makes decisions in football. Yeah. Then what Carrick has done, he deserves to be Manchester United manager.
Yeah.
Meaning say United football player, they have a reason to also question Carrick and say Carrick about 14 games or so, or a couple of games in Yinano, or 10 days, but 10 days. A lot of United fans are saying it's going to be different when you have to play Champions League in the middle.
That's true.
Juggle both playing the FA Cup plus the demands, expectations, because maybe a Carrick before a team freedom. The expectations said in Nisro. That is going to be another level. But until Michael Carrick gets there, you can't say that he won't be able to do that. I think he has done enough. United in commodity. Rich, Inter have won the Scudetto. I'm winning and it's their 21st time I'm winning Scudetto. Mamin Kasembi. Rich, in Italian football, in Italy, a chrono has always been dominated by the north. And the reason is simple. They call those areas the industrial north. So, Italia, baby, industries, factories, big ones, they used to be were in Milan and the likes. That is where the big boys were. Rich, because of that, so if you look at the history of Italian football, the successful clubs have come from those in the north or close to the north. When you are going towards the north, Turin, and then of course the two Milan clubs that are in Milan, which is in the north. They have seen a large part of success from the beginning of football and of course to the one. And now, when you go back to look at the history of AC Milan and the history of the formation of Inter Milan, it tells you from the beginning of football with Italy, and they've been very successful. Now, it will maybe not these clubs that are actually the Italian Scudetto. We remember somewhere around 2007, 2008, there about
the dominators.
Yes, then the two Milan clubs ever die. If you remember, up until somewhere 2017, 2018, 2019, thereabouts, not Juventus, Gian Edgy. Then Juventus also came in to come and dominate. It got to a point where the Italians themselves understood that they had to make sure, say, for football to really thrive in that nation, it shouldn't only be centered in the industrial north. So that is where, when it came towards the south, the Neapolitans, Napoli, for started also, then the other clubs that are away from the industrial north started winning. Which, this is the Italian football going back to the industrial north again. Inter Milan winning it for the 21st time in history. But this is very telling. 2016-2017, Juventus in the winning year. 2017-2018, Juventus in the winning year. 2018-2019, Juventus in the winning year. 2019-2020, Juventus in the winning year. Then they cut it off. Then from there, now the Sunin group now have come to invest in Inter, the Chinese company. No, and on this the Inter began to win. At the time, the likes of Romelu Lukaku were in that team. They had brought back Antonio Conte to come and reinvent the Inter team to go and win again. They started that winning onslaught again. Stefan Pioli had been given a vote of confidence with Milan. No, it's not much. But they be the nearly man. The longevity of the man, Stefan Pioli at AC Milan, make sure say he also gets the trophy for team and friend AC Milan. At the time, after the three industrial north teams, Juventus, Inter Milan, and Milan, then that is where the Neapolitans stood up. Which something is very, very clear. Even when Napoli ever dominating, look at the manager that they had in their dugouts, Luciano Spalletti, top level. He had seen it at the top before, both everywhere in Italian football. Again, look at the quality of players that the Inter team had at the time. Victor Osimhen, Vitor Kvaratskhelia. These are quality and Italian Serie A. Now, once they got that, Inter came back again when they had to go and do the job. They brought in an experienced manager from Team FN in Lazio, in Abente FN Simeone Inzaghi. Once Simeone took over the job, Inter, it was his experience and in the longevity of Italian Serie A. And then the quality, now Antonio Conte keep it for the long time, Inter. Then he decided to go on with it, Rich, and to make sure say they go on. After that, Napoli went on, also successfully to come and take back their trophy. Again, another experienced manager in Antonio Conte, and then finally, Christian Kivu. Rich, there are two things that make two teams win the Italian Scudetto in recent times. Sika, any experienced coach. It is very, very likely so by the Italian Serie A. So, No, so let me say, but the reason I'm saying this is that Juventus dominated revenue Sika in these years. 2016, 2017, 17, 18, 19. First time until the Sunni group came to pump in money, brought in Antonio Conte, bought top players. Then Inter came to compete. Then at this side, at AC Milan, it was more the longevity of Stefan Pioli. And what's now what match? Then Stefan also managed to go on and win. After Stefan, De Laurentiis did a lot of investment on a small team in the southern Napoli, the Neapolitan city, and then brought in an experienced manager who could also do the job. It's in America, say in Italy, league now, you need two things. The players can be old, but Unyes cannot be to even older players who are good enough to complement our experienced manager. You tend to win.
No, it's the same football in Casade, the modern day football. It's money.
But who's Italian football is a little bit peculiar. Who do Italy compare the rest of the European teams are?
Okay.
When you compare
so when you kakra now utimi
now the experience
you
tend to win
with a good manager you
tend to win it. Who's the first? Not Juventus now about being Yeska. Then they were dominant.
One or two teams be penna.
Exactly.
Rich owners are still now result them.
When you don't, of course.
Typical example here. Yanum.
Of course, when you don't manage your things well, don't worry. When you don't manage your things well, it begins to affect you. Now, something different has happened this season under Christian Kivu. Which when you said Christian Kivu before Sebefa Inter, man, no coachy Palmer for less than 20 games. No, in fact, he's an Inter legend. We're winning the Scudetto 2 times as a player. He was coaching in Inter's Primera junior team in Italy for Primera Division. That is where he came to come and do the job. In fact, all of the experience, Boma, just around 50 games, and a Christian Kivu at the anyway. So an Inter team that was deteriorating, yes, they had kept the core of the team. I think that this win was down to the brilliance of not just Abrante's friend Christian Kivu, but also sporting director BP Marotta, keeping Abrante's friend Akan Klanoglu, making sure that they held on to Abrante's friend Nicolo Barella. The sensible decision of selling Abrante's friend Andre Onana to go out and then bring in a new goalkeeper. The quality of players beats Marcos Thuram team. The smartness of bringing players beats Pierre Esposito into their team. They are not big names, but they tend to complement. And for me, and for of course, I think also for you, a lot of credit to Christian Kivu. But after winning it twice as a player, or the Inter winning the very first time we're winning as a manager, and I think there's a lot of congratulations. There are a lot of good players in this team. Yuan Besek who have been solid, Zanetti, Beppe Marotta. Inter have been fantastic in Italy, and I think that there's a possibility. Almost called the Coppa, no? Almost the Coppa Italia. They win 2 trophies in one season, and I like this from Alexander Kolarov. See, Inter is always trying to improve, and for us, it's not over yet. We have another match in 10 days, and we want to win the Coppa Italia. We are satisfied, but the job isn't finished yet.
More former player,
Alexander Kolarov, was at Manchester City.
Okay, yeah.
But then Beppe Marotta essay, evident. Of course, this is an Italian. It's been kind of about it. Congratulations to Inter Milan for the success that they've been able to get with Italian Serie A, and more so to Christian Kivu. Maybe as the weeks go by, I'll try and do more detailed analysis on how he was able to win it tactically. Today was about the institution Inter Milan. And again, we'll look at say Milan team, more in England, Man City, but in Italy, different teams have won. Is it because the Italian Serie A is more competitive than the English Premier League, or something else? We'll look at it in the next few days. Rich, I don't like to overcomplicate things. How I see it and I go home. It's as simple as that. So far as I disrespect any, that is all. And it's the same as the situation between Barcelona and Madrid, in my opinion. Barcelona for league. It is just, they are just delaying the coronation. And now you see, You see, Madrid are trying hard to make sure, say, at least, Barca for the trophy, find time money. One, they don't expect Barcelona to win the trophy at their expense away at Espanyol. No. Yem 2 car na flight Barcelona Crumonum Bebo terrorist rivals or making sure some relegation. Emma name me saying and I see a more draw. Now until now Fian can say, oh, now to couch mu, watch league, and then we are struggling. Don't do that. So yesterday, if you look at the game Madrid played out, it was essentially about themselves. You're making sure say, yeah, my Barcelona for the joy, regardless. And because also, and I love so for them, what will excite them is two things. Whether they get a guard of honor from Madrid for, or they lift the trophy at the Santiago Bernabeu. The first one, they won't get it. The second one is that the next game is going to be the Grand Clasico. Meaning, Pepe, say when you enter everywhere, and Marker gives us a clear picture of Madrid City. Say who do you want, man? For them, it's about preventing Barcelona from hoisting the trophy on that Santiago Bernabeu stadium. It is only Omukoba. They will try to do everything to stop Barcelona, but Barcelona will not care. They will not care. Getting the job done over the weekend, away at a stadium at El Sada, a place that they usually don't get success from, no, tells how good they are, and it's only a matter of time. Which the goal that Robert Lewandowski share being set up by Marcus Rashford, probably one reason in Tia. If you look at the context of Barcelona, it's almost holding Marcus Rashford and Lewandowski in any decision that they will make. Barcelona need to make a decision this summer. Lewandowski better. You want to bring in a starting center for who's going to be more expensive. Marcus Rashford. Are there better options on the market? Will you pay Manchester United for him? Key decisions that Barcelona would have to make. Which it was in the 80th minute. Lamine Yamal niho. Rafinha niho. Fermin Lopez is not balling as you expect him to ball. And as it has always been this season, although Enye consistent for Barcelona fans and they are not excited with what Abrante friend Marcus Rashford anymore consistently, no. But in crucial moments like this at the El Sada, when they needed one man to use his brain, it was Marcus Rashford. Just look at the number of Osasuna players behind the ball. Marcus was patient and he did two things. One, scan the area and then look at the body orientation of Abrante friend Robert Lewandowski. You will see that Lewandowski peels away from the fullback and then immediately begins to make the run. Or making run now, it was the beautiful ball. And Abrante friend Marcus Rashford did two more. Whether they will pay the 30 million, whether they will not pay, that decision, things like this have to be looked at in context. Small boy now go for Nabano. Will he be able to give you moments like this? Small boy now also beso go for Nabano. Can they give you what you are looking for? I think that the best way is to make sure say Manchester United will accept another loan. Madrid spoiled the party, at least not yet for Team Friend Football Club Barcelona. It will go to the Santiago Bernabeu. What do you think will happen at the Santiago Bernabeu?
Like you said, Madrid MPC. So Barcelona Belgian League in Ukraine shouldn't be Santiago Bernabeu. No, baby. What a baby. And never mind give and bed dead. But a league, but Yama won't do Kuma. But the two teams in injuries be brave. They don't care. Lamine Pra. Derby games will go and yet tactics. Exactly, but we play our big boy. I mean, player be a besheni Jesse be only the derby nature. And Kasadi and Mamadou Sa with you. No, Ebia unya top level performance. Exactly. Premium one unya. So that is where Barca probably have. You're not supposed to be here to complement the team. It may not be enough. That is the problem Barcelona will have. Lamine is not there. Rafinha not fully fit. But of course, the exciting part, and they say, Nyame Aduma will wait for it. Which, just to wrap up for you, congratulations to Michael Carrick. Thank you. We have said it several times, time immemorial. DBI Bosso. Say me, for me, I don't judge managers based on experience. Coachy, how, what you say. Which if you are worth your salt, then if you are good, it will show with time. And that is what Michael Carrick has shown. Which the people that are saying say, oh, Michael Carrick in that time, Bobo, Ruben Amorim free tournament competitions very early. Still near the result. He was still struggling. Ruben Amorim did wrong things in terms of player profiling. Should maybe I know about Bruno Fernandes. Back to the fundamentals. Simple. He plays Bruno Fernandes close to goal, and then look at Bruno Fernandes. He doesn't play Casemiro alone. He doesn't play Ugarte next to Casemiro. Or Casemiro next to a ball-sided player in Kobe Mainoo. And then now, look at the young man. Now, a brand TV. From the edge of the box. And we're on Yadi. Not let the bench. But on your top, sir. This summer, you need to upgrade on him.
Rich, and you
player only be more. I mean, no
problem. You see, me, I'm an analyst. Rich, you see, I don't have a problem. Oh, you're a United fan, and I get that. I'm an analyst. Me say can you try? Whilst Ruben Amorim, Carrick has done a good job with Kobe Menu, I'm a bit delivered. You can't depend only on Kobe Menu in the Champions League next season. It's not possible. So on Kobe Champions League, nonsense in Bebo League, nonsense in Bebo FA Cup. United would have to augment the squad.
Sure,
so what
you do it?
Yes, it also Elliot Anderson. It is time for United to look through whether it is Elliot, whether it is Baleba, whoever the midfielder is, waiting team to also complement Kobe and get them to go and compete and play one. I think it should be done. And then you made 2 matches for Honum. A simple job. Now, Liverpool for say Chelsea for the and a slot that's a word man. Chelsea it's Liverpool get there over Champions League. And yes, I can slot your Pablo Crab and go fear that. Which Roberto Di Zerbi has done a good job.
Yeah.
And baby or the Omo fan, yeah. But also the kind of football and confidence that they were playing, it was good enough for them. Chelsea are playing against Nottingham Forest and then you only one thing matters. So what Champions League be a share. It's as simple as that. The bad thing is that Nottingham Forest have a good record when they play at home. Callum McFarlane said there is a lot of positives between Ono and then Mrante in the lead up to game and then you remember against we are close 2 p.m.
Yeah, 2.
I hear today is a bank holiday or UK. So that's why the game is being played in the afternoon. Nottingham Forest match. Which honestly I don't have any hopes in Chelsea games. I just watch them.
Okay.
It's a game
far.
Because maybe a team when the team has deteriorated, a lot of things.
I don't think so. I think that a problem simple players in manager.
But that's what has made the team.
Yempe the decision of the board. Inti coach Nankasa the any problem, but the young man result now. Ebema more board no be few say the decision that you took was the best.
That's exactly what.
So now coach need hono. So why Chelsea games are now players in there?
One game.
It's not about. I know it's one game. But you see, listen. Now, say Obi to say Kaisedo. You know the importance of playing the Champions League.
But again,
so you don't need Obi to tell you.
No problem. But you are playing against a Nottingham Forest team. About Stamford Bridge, in 3 times. We about draw me.
I mean, I can't make
so for me, my job is an analyst.
And the banner idea.
No problem. So for more Mutier, Nottingham Forest ever Champions League.
Okay.
They get success over there.
Okay.
And no be an air channel. So Chelsea go see a now you don't agree with your board decision, so now you want to play. I can 4 games, 3 games. It may not be enough for you to qualify for the Champions League. You can't say now the next season will come, a Conference League. And I say be a Europa League, a place that you don't like. So for a lot of Chelsea fans, it's about waiting to see. For me, this summer is the most important one. It was a good one, Pioneer. I had a message attaching Makoma. Somebody said he had won 8,000 CDs from Sunday Coats and the Tosun. Now, saying another boy and also film, but some my bigger can say Debbie. For me, the most important thing is for you to get something.
The passports.
Now
simple.
My mark codes no. And then was the Chelsea or match La Liga or Honum. Correct games power Honum. First one a BW 5366 4B9F. Second one a BW 5366 300C. Third one a BW 53660E95. Fourth one a BW 5360822. Reaching our last one a BW 5365DBFA.
Okay. That's it, Kofi. You told some far Emamo. Okay.
From me, my memo side rather than say me a friend is saying
sure.
Papa side
yeah. That's true.
Upa with my cabo.
Anti Achim then Equiapim. Okay, that's fine. So be fine. Okay. On the way is about EPL qualify for Champions League.
EPL. You qualify for Champions League.
Yeah.
Move for Jumani one match.
Oh yeah,
man. I think he deserves it. He has done a very good job.
Can't get Juma.
Why Juma? Move for man. Mamu you who cry.
Akwani coach to do.
Top notch.
Is it okay Europe dia coach be any?
Yes, I agree.
No coach.
No coach.
A Premier League no mpanifu wa show bia. Until Rosie Grading kuno.
So no bia.
Who trying to say
all do bia.
Mo pepi the net to level.
Why don't you?
Mo say Ateta Premier League no madwuma che obi oboss we. Ateta. Mo ahye no.
Say kasa.
Me catch akwa no bantu an kebeji Premier League no.
Since I'm move from
Tinyame aduma next season ya confirm ni bia. Every trophy domestic
and foreign
in the Nigeria. Oh, you confirm no? Just a matter of time.
Because he has proven beyond reasonable doubt he's a top manager.
Top.
I mean, you didn't come say football is about results, and results is what makes decisions in football. Yeah. Then what Carrick has done, he deserves to be Manchester United manager.
Yeah.
Meaning, say United football, they have a reason to also question Carrick and say Carrick about 14 games or so, or a couple of games in Yinano, or 10 days, a lot of United fans are saying it's going to be different when you have to play Champions League in the middle.
That's true.
Juggle both, playing the FA Cup, plus the demands, expectations, because maybe a Carrick before Tini Freedom. The expectations said in Nisro. That is going to be another level. But until Michael Carrick gets there, you can't say that he won't be able to do that. I think he has done enough. He made United in commodity into Rich. Inter have won the Scudetto. I'm winning and it's their 21st time I'm winning Scudetto. My main can't be Rich. In Italian football, in Italy, a chrono has always been dominated by the north. And the reason is simple. They call those areas the industrial north. So, Italia, baby, industries, factories, big ones, they used to be were in Milan and the likes. That is where the big boys were. Which, because of that, so if you look at the history of Italian football, the successful clubs have come from those in the north or close to the north. When you are going towards the north, Turin, and then of course the two Milan clubs that are in Milan, which is in the north, they have seen a large part of success from the beginning of football and of course to the one. And now, when you go back to look at the history of AC Milan and the history of the formation of Inter Milan, it tells you from the beginning of football with Italy, and they've been very successful. Now, it will maybe not these clubs that are actually the Italian Scudetto. We remember somewhere around 2007, 2008, there about
the dominators.
Yes, then the two Milan clubs die. If you remember, up until somewhere 2017, 2018, 2019, thereabout, not Juventus is Gian Edgy. Then Juventus also came in to come and dominate. It got to a point where the Italians themselves understood that they had to make sure, say, for football to really thrive in that nation, it shouldn't only be centered in the industrial north. So that is where, when it came towards the south, the Neapolitans, Napoli, for started also, then the other clubs that are away from the industrial north started winning. Which, this is the Italian football going back to the industrial north again. Inter Milan winning it for the 21st time in history. But this is very telling. 2016-2017, Juventus the winning year. 2017-2018, Juventus the winning year. 2018-2019, Juventus the winning year. 2019-2020, Juventus the winning year. Then they cut it off. Then from there, now the Sunni group now have come to invest in Inter, the Chinese company. No. And on this the Inter began to win. At the time, the likes of Romelu Lukaku were in that team. They had brought back Antonio Conte to come and reinvent the Inter team to go and win again. They started that winning onslaught again. Stefan Pioli had been given a vote of confidence with Milan. No, it's not much. But they be the nearly man. The longevity of the man, Stefan Pioli at AC Milan, make sure say he also gets the trophy for team and friend AC Milan. At the time, after the three industrial north teams, Juventus, Inter Milan, and Milan, then that is where the Neapolitans stood up. Rich, something is very, very clear. Even when Napoli ever dominating. Look at the manager that they had in their dugouts. Luciano Spalletti. Top level. He had seen it at the top before. Both everywhere in Italian football. Again, look at the quality of players that the Inter team had at the time. Victor Osimhen, Vicha Kvaratskhelia. These are quality and a Italian Serie A. Now, once they got that, Inter came back again when they had to go and do the job. They brought in an experienced manager from Team FN Lazio in the bench FN Simeone Inzaghi. Once Simeone took over the job, Inter, it was his experience and in the longevity of Italian Serie A. And then the quality now Antonio Conte keep it for a long time. Inter, then he decided to go on with it, Rich, and to make sure say they go on. After that, Napoli went on, also successfully to come and take back their trophy. Again, another experienced manager in Antonio Conte, and then finally Christian Kivu. Rich, there are two things that make two teams win the Italian Scudetto in recent times. Sika, any experienced coach. It is very, very likely so better Italian Serie A. So, no, so let me say, but the reason I'm saying this is that Juventus dominated revenue, Sika, in these years. 2016, 2017, 17, 18, 19. First time, until the Sunni group came to pump in money, brought in Antonio Conte, bought top players. Then Inter came to compete. Then at this side, at AC Milan, it was more the longevity of Stefan Pioli. And what's now what match? Then Stefan also managed to go on and win. After Stefan, De Laurentiis did a lot of investment on a small team in the southern Napoli, in the Neapolitan city, and then brought in an experienced manager who could also do the job. It's in America, say in Italy, league now, you need two things. The players can be old, but Unyes cannot be to even older players who are good enough to complement our experienced manager. You tend to win.
No, to say football and Casade, the modern day football. It's money.
But who's the Italian football is a little bit peculiar. How do Italy compare the rest of the European teams?
Okay.
When you compare,
so when you utmi
now the experience,
the experience, you
tend to win
with a good manager, you win.
You tend to win it. Who's the first? Not Juve and now, but Yeska. Then they were dominant.
One or two teams be penna.
Exactly.
Rich owners are still now result number.
When you don't, of course.
Typical example here, Yanum.
Of course, when you don't manage your things well, don't worry. When you don't manage your things well, it begins to affect you. Now, something different has happened this season under Christian Kivu. Which when you say Christian Kivu before Sebefa Inter, man, no coaching Palmer for less than 20 games. No, in fact, he's an Inter legend. We're winning the Scudetto 2 times as a player. He was coaching in Inter's Primera, junior team in Italy for Primera Division. That is where he came to come and do the job. In fact, all of the experience, Boma, just around 50 games, and a Christian Kivu at the anyway. So an Inter team that was deteriorating, yes, they had kept the core of the team. I think that this win was down to the brilliance of not just Abrante friend Christian Kivu, but also sporting director BP Marotta, keeping Abrante friend Akan Klanoglu, making sure that they held on to Abrante friend Nicolo Barella. The sensible decision of selling Abrante friend Andre Onana to go out and then bring in a new goalkeeper. The quality of players beats Marcos Thuram team. The smartness of bringing players beats Pio Esposito into their team. They are not big names, but they tend to complement. And for me, and for, of course, I think also for you, a lot of credit to Christian Kivu. But after winning it twice as a player,
Akabiano, Jaron some edible for your El Shono, Nayan Senyamia Duma and UEFA Champions League, Barcelona Ansanano, Jetense Andra matches, Basso El Europe, Na Oko Ilia, Andra El Italian Serie Anmuno, Yenya Cremonense Elfie, Wusu 2-1 Edma SS Lazio, and which Andra. Team from say Roma Etnafie El Estadio Olimpico El Rome we share 4 Emma Fiorentina and I say Fiorentina Womo Entimante Gianluca Mancini as her first goal Emma Roma after Wesley Franca at the second goal Ebesoso Emma Mario Hamesu El third goal Ansana Nicola Pizzilli at the fourth goal Esoso Emma Roma after Uko Spina and El La Liga no Yenya Sevilla Amutinafie Womo share Bako Emma Real Sociedad wɔn Antimante Alexis Sanchez and I said only go and my Sevilla team no after Uber Englander na me who be kurada is say Monday area kete 2 o'clock p.m. Mandra Stamford Bridge once again already Chelsea team no na enoma enkoye wɔn sa ekodigui and Chelsea Stamford Bridge wɔn so 3-1 and my away side she from Nottingham Forest na andra wɔn say anchekra a second minute and a Nhyira on my brand friend Taiwo awani say first goal and my Nottingham Forest after Igor Jesus at the penalty was second goal and my Forest and Sana Abrantia je friend say Taiwo awani at the third goal and that's also at my Forest team no you be a game 90 plus 3 minutes and I Joao Pedro at the bicycle kick and your consolation goal and my Chelsea and the Anglo Chelsea of you who so 3-1 and my Nottingham Forest name ya kete for you say Andra ko Palmer e konya penalty e bo to twene na elsewhere Andra mre Harold Dickinson Stadium they say Everton e of you woman so any Man City about 3-3 say Arsenal any advantage is say Andra draw a team from say Man City boy no ama Arsenal team no woman next 3 games aka e Premier League no say Arsenal e win ni na e say Arsenal for the first time in 22 years woman the Premier League e dey see woman so na Andra City woman game e ba so e wa we no mama fa to nim say e Jeremy Doku and a share first goal and Man City and which Abrante say Barry ever take no and my team you from say Everton Emma Barry at the second goal and I said third goal and I said second goal rather ever so Emma Everton and Sana Jack O'Brien ever third goal and Emma Everton after Abrante say Ellen Haaland ever say second goal and my Man City and Sana woman we game 90 plus 7 and a Jeremy Doku ebenya equalizer no and Man City and the Andra City away woman Everton about 3-3 na Premier League table nay say Arsenal for woman ya Gibraltar say e say ya Arsenal about the Premier League e dey see on so na onim say Arsenal woman last 3 games aka e Premier League no Arsenal team no almost say for papa is say one Burnley e one baba West Ham e away na omo Crystal Palace e away e Chelsea Arsenal for no one advantages and say 3 matches aka no your 2 London derbies e enti Arsenal entu kwan enko ba bia e Chelsea Arsenal team no wo hia emade mo kakra bi na omo the Premier League e dey see omo na so my Pep Guardiola one and manager at Man City and after the game Guardiola say na advantage no e team from the City or minimum under makoba draw wagidi e pese say aselepe e dey free omonsa ama akodi Arsenal for no do betima kan ene say Premier League yenwie bibia e betima si City woman so e betima the Premier League e dey esi omona so we at the Sky Blues of Man City woman boss Pep Guardiola.
Really good. Very outstanding first half. Very, very good. We create a lot and we're so tight, so difficult physicality. Second half, they make a step up. We were maybe not as much aggressive to control, and after, of course, we give away the goal. But after they come back and they make a proper English game and so aggressive in the duels.
Okay, eno the Sky Blues of Man City omo manager your friend said Joseph Pep Guardiola and I tell Guardiola and can say okaza say Andra game na a proper English football game as a team for the bra born a Korea mo pimo pai no better from no say yes what about Harold Dickinson Stadium David Moyes and a T-bench and T1 kasa unim the way Andra game esikoye and I Pep Guardiola and Sam Kakra and all the two and no pay no you don't want some for you el show so now when him say Andra after Everton and Man City game no Chelsea officially the Chelsea Arsenal one goalkeeper face David Raya one energy golden glove this season Premier League game na I was say your boy David Raya baso say 3 consecutive season ni na oji golden glove Chelsea of Brentford eba Arsenal boy no ne money bo asani pa this season 35 matches Premier League game wa keep 17 clean sheet Chelsea boy no ne money bo so nipa na unim say in the history of Premier League Abraham said David Raya about 4th goalkeeper 3 consecutive season ni nyina waji Golden Globe esanse Pepe Reina AAB Joe Hart AAB and afi Ederson Morales one so AAB nti David Raya one so aya record aya nano payade won sempina ene matefonya e show no so afi Freeman City game no na yenko under we game eba so our Stamford Bridge many can catch order da say Chelsea team under women so 3-1 and Nottingham Forest na onim say the last 6 games at Chelsea abo e Premier League no Chelsea elu so much sinina we at the first time since 1993 Chelsea abo 6 matches e Premier League consecutively ni na Chelsea elu su e hard ye pa na onim say under our Stamford Bridge I'm first Thiago Silva ebe he boni bi na we Thiago Silva time third go ni by akwai neura ho etimi Chelsea pa mija okro enie Thiago Silva eka de andra enka osu e Stamford Bridge nemo andra na ne ho aye mobo enya sebketo akra we e presidential box e Stamford Bridge and I say Thiago Silva what why na no pay no 01 sem emetefonya e show no so na Callum McFarlane e interim manager and my team from Chelsea. Now manager say we are very disappointed pa. Esan say Andra first 50 minutes Chelsea team no woman started game na omo performance well below average. Na one kasa o sheda dientia Chelsea team no womo entimi an starting ye Jovet Maka and say free enekoi womo kwotena se na Chelsea game amobo editia Leeds United the Chelsea here omo timi defend better editia Leeds United Andra woman timi and defend better amfa enti Nottingham Forest no e was Chelsea team no wo mutimi ko archives nim na omo ko defend the neighbor we Chelsea manager je France Callum McFarlane.
Yeah, really disappointed with the performance, disappointed with the result. Irrelevant of that, I don't think we ever got to our level today that we know we're capable of. So yeah, naturally very disappointing. I know the group, I've known them for a little while now, and they are driven, they want what's best for themselves, they want what's best for this club, and we're going to do everything we can to try and win every single game we can.
Okay, we interim manager and my Chelsea fan say Callum McFarlane and our team manager nka say all Casano na mame Joao Pedro Masandra and mama ankoyi am from Chelsea name Joao Pedro HRS why striker hey striker penny na dey o sidi na koko eje ball e dan na ho bicycle panyan na boni da net Joao Pedro andra na why brightest star e Chelsea team num na unim say Joao Pedro this season Premier League num was 15 non-penalty goals at the Chelsea na Chelsea abakosemu wabaya 4 player and as a 3rd player rather the first season was 15 or more non-penalty goals Premier League num at the Chelsea Diodikan Jimmy Floyd Hassenberg was 19 goals in the first season at the Chelsea and after Diego Costa one of the first season Chelsea was 19 non-penalty goals and my Chelsea na omuwie game no and Joao Pedro say baby Edru no say enya manager semia biem na ogidie pa say e wase omo players no woman kasa etna say na omo kasa na mu hu ma ensira enkoye Chelsea esa say Chelsea one players na and e wase omo pagya omo madimbom eno Joao Pedro andra ensem kakra wode etudwa na andra Chelsea woman line up e ba ye no yahu Alejandro Garnacho yahu Pedro Neto manager na say 2 boys no na omo feel well and unti na andra game omo mobi enti andra Chelsea woman left Frank ono eno abrantie first Jesse Dari or just 18 years wo fi academy mu na bae na academy player andra wo bo arima Chelsea no boy no enye 45 plus minute and a boy no ekonya ona say okoni player ekokolide ye eno abrantie first Zach Bot wo sina kan arima Nottingham Forest na dem me say kan say boy no Chelsea phone and then a hospital. We move a game na official statement at Chelsea. At the bar say boy no ho aye enche ne ho betono enti Jesse Dari Andra one said a game and from Chelsea and yet ono kwa Andra abrantie fence Robert Sanchez one Morgan Gibbs White woman so ekokolide na enoma ekos no andra eduru ba bi na Chelsea goalkeeper no na e wose omo bonagility ansana watimi atoa game ne so eno ensem kakra andra ekos so Stamford Bridge na se Chelsea ebetimi qualify for UEFA Champions League I just say mathematically and comfort na say na omo ye mass no na the only way ebema Chelsea qualify for UEFA Champions League say we Premier League table na I just say Aston Villa 1 omoji Europa League I just say Aston Villa finish 5th Premier League table so now the last best matches and I said the last matches are I can't Chelsea anymore at least I was say Chelsea when we win 2 games now I'm happy say I'm a tosu 6 Premier League and sana Chelsea etima qualify for UEFA Champions League where the Yamian Ukraine a kind of wa anshana amfa enti like he said one next season Chelsea team no woman UEFA Champions League now Man City and none pair and a city woman idea base abrantia first full forwarding while standing a contract at the Man City now the me second and say a 4-year contract and a full forwarding while standing at the Man City until June 2030 full forwarding Everton City or further 1 year over to me at the standing a contract at the Chelsea yes City for an AGD pass this season and no man answer ankoye after full forwarding name do metimaka and say woman GDL full for the mu say enche boy no form ebesa aye kama e the Man City and aye update a free city eba enano pay no jere won sem emetio for na e show no so na nyame ya aduma ene e Emirates UEFA Champions League eba so na Arsenal e fie 7:00 p.m. woman Atletico Madrid enebo e big game esan say nano Wednesday e Metropolitano Stadium Atletico Madrid and Arsenal ebo 1-1 draw enti game e open bibia betimasi obeke andra me the match officials edimamo now for the sake of your team fontino the tense enanumre a German referee friend say Daniel Siebert and ebedi game no na video assistant referee akọ enema Bastien Donkor nyame aduma ochina and a Bayern and a Paris Saint-Germain elbow na andra el sober training center but the Arsenal omo training andra Julian Timber and watching Martin Odegaard Mikel Merino and a Kai Havertz women anya training nemum andra the tense Arsenal one manager France Mikel Arteta woba pre-match press conference no manager say Martin Odegaard and a Kai Havertz woman training nemum born ometimabo nemum enanumre game ebaso no the tense Mikel Arteta and say the last time Arsenal when we call Champions League final 2006 wajidi pass enanumre adie bia e was Arsenal when we said bia o meko final bia no e was Arsenal we Arsenal one manager Mikel Arteta.
I can't wait. I mean, I feel the energy in and amongst the team, our supporters. So these are the moments that we want to live together. We had a lot of work as a club, as a team, after 20 years to be in this position again. And we are so hungry to get the game that we want tomorrow and go through to the final. Huge excitement, really hungry. I mean, it's difficult to express the desire to live that moment. And especially with our people in front of them, they've been waiting for so long to have this kind of nights. And push hard tomorrow because it's something amazing going to happen.
Okay, the Gunners, manager France Mikel Arteta, and I'll take Arteta and Cassia. Me, I do not know when we pushy na Champions League final. Come at the Arsenal and no, Mikel Arteta and Sam Kakra with the 2 Ganano Peno. You know, some MT for your El Shono. So now, Oko Atletico Madrid, Anra, Emirates Stadium, Atletico, who was training Eba. So now, Mami Julian Alvarez, when you said the last time Arsenal, woman Atletico, Eboye, El Metropolitano, no. Julian Alvarez ekunya knock nemum andra training na ebaso no diame se kan se Atletico wo training no na abrantia fa se Julian Alvarez wonu kwa edikan personal training na individual training na ebaso no je se Atletico Madrid wo physical therapist wonu Julian Alvarez edikan individual training ansana boy ni join group no ama Atletico for omo training abaso na Diego Simeone say nyame aduma ene ebejire papa sanse wom ansesa amonsa no sede wo bia nim se Atletico wom bo no za ena ombebo no nya fayi ena ombeka se ai ena obia be hegam ni binti Atletico ebesesa amonsa no akobo de omuntimi de ombetima bo ena ombebo wom nim se say omo ya de kakra bi a won qualify area ko UEFA Champions League final and oya Diego Simeone na onim say Atletico Madrid team no and omo ba ewiam wo e London won ba omo hotel na omo kodai enu numere na Atletico asesem hotel no na the ten say Diego Simeone e ba pre-match press conference and some trophy busan say chairman yesim hotel masesa no na de ntia anya bi a league first mo ba Emirates mo ba je 4-0 e de tia Arsenal mo gi die pass because of superstition and masesem hotel na Diego Simeone said that be womudi combine hotel na modano na ne board ni too much when efo enuntina womasesem hotel no enti wogidi pass hotel when cheaper and my team from say Atletico Madrid na yese ena homachi e Atletico womu training grounds masa firecrackers ba Arsenal supporters womu say dabi ye jai mama mo dakra kasabi yesai dede entwene yese firecrackers knockout andra e anase ena homachi e London e montino so baby a Atletico hotel na ewono ansa supporters akwede de edi agumasum na yese Atletico for no woma twelete edi akoma UEFA for se dabi we etia football emra enoma ena homachi esiye omo hotel no woma soso enye enti oma twelete edi akoma UEFA for na ena no pay the update emetie for na show no so na nyame ya aduma oba Africa ye continent iso a CAF Champions League final ebeba so na first leg and for second leg now first leg yebenya Mamelodi Sundowns the Mawanda Sawana wombe trefie Loftus Versal Stadium the city of Pretoria women airs as far from Morocco enable first leg no 17th May and ebaso na obeke dey come story e the amount say Senegal and I say refina odi Senegal and Egypt AFCON final Jafan said Gian Jacques Ndela Ngambo from DR Congo one anybody game no now I must see video assistant referee Abdelaziz Yassel Ahmed from Sudan now for match commissioner Akwa Edema Desmond Marengwa from Zimbabwe now 2 teams in Nigeria we jidi pass referees no and I say referee already game no the test and the credibility questionable sense referee akodi AFCON final ama ehun aba sam dia esidai and a CAF for modern CAF Champions League final edmano enti the me second and say CAF for say meeting ebeba so na me say meeting ebeba so no say ombe change referee and I say omo change referee and no the emre and enkrabia and ebeba and no pay no jere won sam emeti for na show no so live on Nhyira 104.5 FM na Richard Ominisino Oko Remadida Abrantie fan say Felan Mendy on say medical be story say boy ne pra na almost say omakotwa scan no boy no obetena fi best 5 months one team more ball and from a team you from say Remadida
opera too much are
now only say Madrid since last season ever pim season we omanya injuries different ones go 120.
Wow. That's so bad.
As a man replace no prapa.
Vigorous training and idea. And you better factor. So sometimes players how much training because already they are playing so many matches. So as I say, match is not more already a dozen. It is also for vigorous training more. Pre-planning
Antonio Pintus
Fernanda Casano. As I in Japan, I don't know. A planning ya doso. And a
demonstration and so here.
Demonstration there.
I wish for chances of what I say. And Omotina here game the Dino. I was a demonstrations too. Now demonstrations me no be no senior me aduma. One more FA Cup final ball Wembley against the Sky Blues of Man City. Now almost see before the game, Chelsea supporters in instant come for bus. They are costed on my form. Now a form no a Jerry Sutina on for the banner. Woman Chelsea say blue co out
to ball in fan.
Omupe blue co be no sporting directors no. Almost deep banners in the subi. They are tossing you know almost say 20 and I say one more game on the ball a team from Tottenham Hotspur.
Okay.
And no Stamford Bridge. Now 22nd minute. Chelsea supporters almost Stamford Bridge na ebe sorry edo mochi akire pitch na so na o ma chante say blue co out.
Okay.
1 minute.
It's good somewhere, but the woman say the Chelsea, I mean, say Nipa Bibri felt in love with no. Roman Abramovich time. Was a sad time, no. Coach Papa players Papa or discuss do na Chelsea team. I mean that time it be about Roman Abramovich a result. And yes, for billionaires of free America, but the difference between Omni Roman Abramovich and say America is for no a extremely business on the balance on book.
See you can premium.
I love that.
Yes, you can I read.
You can even only premium. Or no, you can spend ya calculator shit to no calculate do benya any day or she so huntisania money nano. I think the same say Chelsea for no or some said I'm say a different era and a Chelsea soon but you never know when say fisherman Fred Moba you be didn't come on na yashe especially this is the moment so we Arsenal fan as all money je e da some to cry in fact and you be didn't come up Arsenal sawo UEFA Champions League game our ha any ANCP e be free amanene aba awo ejumadi so to join their life our YouTube and Shot TV na oba mesro o subscribe channel no at the moment na fe ja message no ho ye koba sese e dia be ka message no enso etimi e the amount me pa to we school de bia na ofro ofa and ofa and me we school and am tifie me pa chow e say the amanse rural bank PLC aba so now buy your body am obia and them sentena ho enka say and me dwuma kura egu adania and me nya sika and me de wura dwuma mu kura me dwuma na egu no etimi asa sorry me pa cho kwaman se ye be ma besia ama nso de wura dwuma nim no dwuma no etimi asa apija and to tie me na no pe a me say the only banker so wo Ghana ha asantemantem ha ezo no me ye dwuma amanse rural bank PLC could be account to ho open savings open current open susu account open fixed deposit ni na no betumi abia awo ho de besia ye de chiche 24 hours enya kasa tinti bia enya bank bia mani tua no o memo akasa wia in fact so he demand no ene kire se niam abefom kran san na besia no ye de ama na ade no kran no achiwo ni so hade o ba de hu asem ka so ha within 24 hours na dia granto interest rate ni so from ha besia de obi a wo koje ade ba ko a ese o man hia o pa the interest rate sikabotene de da ho but ensi ho no ese o tumi checking it na no enama amanse and say unique our na fum me pa choko ho e ba ne na amafo banking a ye bi so ye be ma ATM ho hia so be call the banking hall sanso NSC kan frabuche na ba ria and I was in yonom nyina me pa cho ade a ye bi awo ho wo asantemantam ha me pa cho mo Roman Hill mon kokote station na ho na asem me pa cho obetimi akọ aye cars Anglican school ho na campus ho me pa cho e bi awo ahonjo Atinga Junction Santase Oboku school ho and a Sofolai new transport terminal no honso ayade ye bie ye branches ni bi but head office na nkasa de awo Antwa Manso kwanta ane manso de bia no na ne ho okwa unsa ebetumi aka amanse 0247 200013 eno eye number mubetumi ene omo adi eye enkomo menko na p phones and accessories na utieme ebia make say ya phone assign ama affect business crowds and business do na ye our phone so now they will be so phone ya say enya business yi na eba be kofoma na aniti edesa ko eye na p phones and accessories ebikwa na usika na enso me pa cho de ko okwa ka na p say Richard say member na mintua half okwa make sure say odo Ghana card ebeko na otua half na ye the phone be ma na dia kan the amount from 3 months to 12 months na dia twa na kakra and number 1 number 2 and say ye name ya to nyina ya tebo no so eba no home appliances ana electrical appliances so per TV open fridge open air condition me ba to air condition no entwe power entu kota Surubia in washing machine and it's the same thing entwe power kra and into okoto na within commerce so of course and so no yeni abakwa koye installation no kama and so etimi ediama yes cha de bebre I say dum so on say penifo be chirem say on be solve problem but kakra it will take time as I don't want to be solve until say no and so dum so edeka day to day activities so no plan the account anything so nya rechargeable and niema and then fine say you dey betua charge dey si ho akoban se dum kania no aso na se bibia na kama e dey ma ni na okọ na pi ho a bebre e ho ha onsa ebetumi enso akabi kuma se edum bari miensa ne wo me pacho first one asida house Kesmin ho na Kesmin media monsa betumi akomo ho number 2 obiba jeke bodi ni me honso ye ho na edu 3 no nana kosi agema bodi ni me honso ade a omo ewo ho me ba cho number no 0533093422 anopa bia breakfast no manenye chokolim chokolim ene omo maka chokolim because ye de Ghana kokoi na ede ayenti na mo minima utumi se ekoyo na we no value for money so very very economical uyo bi a onta empeso be spend especially anopa uhia chokolim isa se bibia wo mdada di ohia unsuo so odi guma onumwa unya bread bi ka ho a na chese breakfast no bibia kama enti chokolim na odwaso kotobi na breakfast no bibia nya kama emfa ema se computer ho adisua dia Uniat Practical Institute and American form ediama enano pay oma me chiro mo ho na omukosua de o ha no afro Richardo okayo in fact ho de okosua computer ho nim dia utumi sampa ye do fa training mo ankasa obewie no wa be pa a teacher for papa bi oma bre computer mo ade kire na ya for mo chira de enso awo Uniat entimi so utiem na person okosua computer me pacho Uniat and American for ediamao ene eba ne network and cyber security engineering ninjina ne yebetro CCTV installation and management data analytics design technology drone piloting software engineering computer hardware and mobile phone technicians ninjina no munkoje ho nim de emfanfi Uniat amo kumase heya odia usi sisanso a bus stop one no na wa friend number 0555383838 school no so said your time no ebe permit you bia no betu akọ open weekends open regular ni na no obetu akọ na afi onso akwakoje entity edi afri omonsam windows and door system me pacho efie no obesi efe ene obi adu ha no ka krachi ufie efe awura ufie a wasi de ntwapa na so ade ba kopa usi fia ana usi dan a enso mani asem hia pa doors and windows because hodie o security na honest start anti so bi benya kwadu boni e ho ana nipa kron so be fa na afei wa ba be du boni anti ana usi dan a ense ho no o mani hia pa anti na me kamfo windows and door system e de amount ene anopay me pa cho hodie ho ba your designs but so pa wa betu do design aba na ya drone kama obi tutu a etuo entimi from bullet na entimi from na bedu bone so na kronfo be fie ho a ontimi muani say ye window ana door so open sliding na be casement ye bi ho balustrade and na shower doors ni na no ye bi awo aye window entimi so aya na de sa contract ni na dia mom na efira fa mutie me osisi dan eton a fa contract no efama aye window na omonya kama efama wona no pay omonso abokumase pechi number 1 0537817472 ano aye number obetimi afre na onso wasi dan na wie no a waye ye wenim ni na wie no eso sisi dem wo say ya sorry dan and our office and our person man facelifter me pacho a 5A Home China Furniture Limited and American for them obi ho ha me kire wade bi e bia office ho amanfo ba pa se bia kompese wo no ye adwuma okwa omabiem onima de krontia because office ho no ho nche da nkoyi so obi ho a owura officer no kwa timi ye adwuma no be 70% because I'm so responsible owura office we na niam nkwa se enkonya bi ni ade bi esisi o chese basa ono ontimi no enye business aniti ana ese utimi ekọ eye 5A home eye China furniture na also utimi ekototo niam na say yenkonya wardrobe table na open TV fridge air condition so na shower taps ahodo open toilet seat open air curtain chandelier and a carpet ani na no oko air 5 year fo quality and so of sra ne bono edafama ebesu bottom 50% discount at the amount na also wetimi enya ye kuma se asokwa just right both in ma your number aye 0549680038 ye ne aye JP 4 station no edna ebenye panti aya announce no wetimi atwe abam de twatwo kra no aye Sun Cablo me patro mo ba ye o se so obo ha oma omutie na omufaye na omukoto Sun Cablo cables edeboya omudan omustores ene ade no ene ontis obi ka say ena me dan me si ahye ena se ontisa stories ni na bi because Sun Cablo no me patro ye hwe Ghana ha especially Ghana ye weather no ene dey cables yi kama the Ghana dey bia no bo enti koba ne say cables ni nkoya akina bibi tregape na akofa dahye enso etimi ade abanti ena me say wo dey dan no kran so wadi nka wo yan dada lemum enye Sun Cablo cables no ena ade akoyi ni nyina fi so na fa Sun Cablo de no efa ye na bibia no enye kama enso mfama dahye ni nyina no untibi enso awasun so ha enti en cables no so pe flexible cable switches open air multi air lamp holders and have a PVC air pipes and a home corner bani no ye tobi and so away na kache anything about Ghana Standards Authority and na Energy Commission omienu na no at the stamp no at the siso na oko air duma PowerPoint electricals edum Kumasi me pacho on sabetumi aka ye niam no bi ewo ho 0534800832 ano Sun Cablo Lightning Africa anopay amo ene afifo pika ho a Vim energy drink I na ama me Vim anopay me de aye me program kama etimi so o so bia na timi se ene de hunam nyina ya me tebre wa wo tebre wo nipaduanim ama aduma kra wo kokra wi kakra so me ba no problem koto aye Vim energy drink nanom obetsen enya extra energy na wetimi de akọ aduma so na bibia aye kama e de ama trillium o madama eno mo de Vim no e de abadwa so ntikotobi nanom na bibia nya kama emfa emawo eno edien aba 10:44 in Shawaz 4.5 yeah live about YouTube in Sha TV Tuesday edition I mean Shada Guitar Passwords and na yede emawo ene o show issues are our border even I'm on the main seven no edna EPL Monday night football na nyasa good to Accra 2 games Chelsea at Fiema Nottingham Forest ekosho mo 3-1 sa game na conference MP diaba of course Everton and Man City about 3-3 ama say ni padodo na afi sem sa afi we de ebe Arsenal ye ha because bibia HS league ne de Arsenal ebetimi enso agide so na so then the UEFA Champions League semi-final second leg you know Arsenal and Atletico Madrid first leg and the 1-1 na fi yeme discussions ni na no emfa emamo ewo dwumadie no enso yenkwa na Fifi Manfred enso dwumadie na say emfa Kofi good morning now to say
Nyamrado
edi nyamiase
na yeso si Arsenal league omunya nyi to wo ase
omeje Arsenal league no
trim do maji
na say time City sha Arsenal no ade ese se me ka kire o se league ni dey Arsenal will win it and so winning
oh yeah I mean say yeah
because it seems like City Arsenal lose game City in the league no Arsenal games na akala full Burnley Crystal Palace
Arsenal for say form 90 giant ko tuni patentin ko mo mo season ni na ene wenya ho
oh so no
okay
Doctor ba.
Junior Sechiko. Na meaning doctor there.
Incoming doctor.
Media phone abese ko feel. Na this time kese ka hospital. Na ko man ka usia.
The youngest doctor.
Aye.
Ghana.
Yeah, what I say.
Which if you are very fine. If you are very fine. Hey.
Oh. But and
from you.
But and episode was be about that. This is grandpa and say Pochettino.
And you are giddy. Now Nottingham Forest are so. No, and you see, my music question. Now, first, now you know, as a you did commonize, Chelsea problem is coaching. But with the result that recently Chelsea done, I'm saying, we're looking beyond coaching.
Wait, you see, I think that say who did Chelsea in common. One thing here, you'll be tempted to look at just one facet of the problem, and you'll be making a huge mistake. So I'll share just one side. Why am I saying this? Say Obika say, oh, Todd Bolly mobile, no sporting directors, almost fan, almost your experience, almost your Brighton level, and then that almost Jumano. Great mistakes in terms of the transfer market players, even with respect to age, inexperience, this and your manner. I think there's an iota of truth in that. You can't 100% say, and there is no truth in that. There is some truth in that. In fact, Makani several times said, even before the sporting directors, Todd Bolly, Nini, or Noani Egbali, they bought experienced players, but they were not good enough in the long term. Obiantimi can't say Pierre Emerick Aubameyang and Chelsea Kofa and he succeeded. He did not. Obiantimi can't say Khalid Koulibaly.
Aubameyang Kofa and
exactly. Picture I'm busy painting this. Okay, clear attention. I'm saying that there was a point Kofa players are experience because just experience those players are experienced, but they didn't get results. Raheem Sterling. So those are wrong players to go and buy. It is only criticizing ownership now. Only you're right in criticizing the ownership.
Experience in age.
It's not just in age. Experience in defining its age.
Okay.
The only thing is that experience comes with age. So my year Juma since me 18 years, by the time I'm 30, you expect that about 12 years experience. But somebody also could have started as early as 16 years. By the time I was 20, no also 4 years experience on yet rookie. You understand? But in the context of this, what I'm trying to say is that Chelsea sporting director see a mistake. Honestly, a mistake. Rich. Me project are perfect that. Meaning say one project be a football man perfect from the start of the project to the end.
No, it takes time.
So let's give ourselves examples. Liverpool project Fenway. Who's our Casano American owners the one person better?
No.
Like profit and loss.
Now some owners were not top.
Exactly. I would have come there. But the only example, Keke. Time of Fenway be fair Jumano. Let's go back to the coaches they went to take at Liverpool. Look at the number of years, the changes they went through. And then they chanced on one man, Jurgen Klopp. Then they said, okay, we buy Yasasa, Brandon Rodgers, this, that, Yato players, Mfa, Yakoto, Mamadou Sakomo, all of these boys. Then we got Jurgen Klopp. Then they said, okay, may handle the keys to Sati Mwe Eddie Amau. Because we are good. Rich, they be a tanker. Say in modern day football, Edding say team be jai all the autonomy to a coach. But it is also important to note, say, once you don't give autonomy to coaches, you let coaches have a huge say in the day-to-day running of clubs. And now, Sex Fabregas say, the 8-year Amani is successful, and they say, when you have a lot of freedom to do his job, and then you one. Now let's go to the Paris Saint-Germain project. Okay, Paris Saint-Germain project. Messi, Neymar, Ancelotti, Unai Emery, Thomas Tuchel, Thiago Silva. Chop, change. It got to a time, the French in Paris Saint-Germain wanted to go pro France. Uncle for Christophe Galtier by as manager. Then when they brought Christophe Galtier, realized that no, you can't just make a decision based on being pro-France. Then they said no, we need one man. You bet me trust no. For even in Paris Saint-Germain's case, they added Luis Campos. So an experienced Luis Campos as sporting director, top coach in Louis Enrique. Chelsea for sporting directors might have made a lot of mistakes in the past. But immediately you get to the point where you get Enzo Maresca. And again, in the Chelsea contest, Okafor Pochettino, Okafor Potter, not Tuchel or Honum. Tuchel shouldn't have been sacked. I don't know what the reasons are. But here finds will move on. Referee Potter, Wako Pochettino, and when you're Enzo Maresca. Rich. Oh, in Semna, Etorebia, Jimmy Carragher. Ayana for Chelsea fans, and yet just about the crash of the matter in the home. It is how a Liverpool fan will talk about Chelsea and Etorebia Chelsea fans. They see Osano. Because Jimmy Carragher can be saying the truth about Chelsea. But immediately or any analysis need, because Chelsea £1 billion bottle jobs like Neville did now. How do you think a Chelsea fan will take it? Truly no. So it is the troll back and forth, a question about from. Then a manager comes in. Or by no say, or no. Chelsea team now see problem room. They are inexperienced no. Rich, obey me the Oma ye bibi. Rich, what he did was that he took this team to the Conference League final. In a season now, Chelsea for no to make sure say they will get the job done in qualifying for Europa League. With Europa League once and seminar. Rich, when they were struggling with Champions League qualification, Rich, this manager, if you maybe throughout last season, Chelsea team qualifying for Champions League. The same players. In fact, last season, Chelsea ain't striker or said the number of goals that João Pedro has scored this season.
It's just a 15, right?
Yes, Nicolas Jackson was wasting chances. But Maresca went to the last day. Nottingham Forest or the champions or qualify for Champions League. You remember say after that game or post-match press conference, journalists wouldn't go on or you saw the F word on them. Say Obi or doubting Chelsea team Ibiano F off. That is what Maresca said. It was widely broadcasted on the day. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that every project have their blips. It can come from the sporting director, it can come from the owner, it can come from wherever. But you get to a point in time where one man, usually one man or two people, ever take you a Jumana, they tend to pepper over the cracks. At that point, you hand over the keys to that season, that team to them. On your panel, now I am man. Of course, checks for him, but your panel, now I am man. Rich, who did he say came to Maresca on Chelsea would have gone 6 games without a single win. What are we saying? So for me, I will constantly mention Maresca's name. And because of Maresca no call. Yeah, but in my analysis, for me, when you look at the short-term causes, it is Maresca. If Maresca,
the root cause.
Yes, Maresca or her. Like you won't be seeing what you are seeing. Chelsea got 5 games, not share a single goal. Or be counter argument, they say in December, Maresca had a bad time. Rich. Team bang anywhere Europe, even the best manager Joseph Guardiola, it was bad time in a season. In a 38 game season, there is no way you don't have a bad time unless you go unbeaten. Even unbeaten, how many seasons do we have teams going unbeaten? Unbeaten, you got to let me draw by 5. It's a bad time in that contest. It's rich. Imagine say manager number. Now what psychic players are not Obiaso Munyade and the Potter and the Pochettino. Now or not qualify for Champions League against all the odds. Or not the Conference League and your trophy but it is something that Chelsea won. Or not go against Paris Saint-Germain side that before then, not even me as a Chelsea fan could believe that Chelsea made me actually Paris Saint-Germain. Which those set of players no will believe 100% say when it comes to Maresca, yeah. If you make that change in January, psychologically, either you get it right
or wrong,
or the team is dead. That's why I told you Chelsea is dead.
Jimmy Carragher.
Yes.
I think Chelsea look like a broken team.
It is dead as it stands now. Players don't bono. They are waiting for the season to end. It's like every other Chelsea fan. And I say, I will numbers that be a buffer. The Chelsea fans don't watch.
Yeah. I'm here down.
Yeah, because
and that's a Chelsea story.
Because they want the season to end.
Players no bobo to say.
Because the one man and not players don't believe you when you move. Obia so Paris Saint-Germain and not me na mono man the video Enzo Maresca here before the Club World Cup final. And a journalist can change so yes you suffer with large moments without the ball. And I say that again. And a journalist you said you suffer without the ball. Who told you? Which he wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
But now you're about being there. And for me, there was no way Chelsea should have let it go. We will not know the entire story. It's rich and not Chelsea born on Buenana. It is a team of Liam Rossini about Robert trying it. But if you want to born, I say, and now one man Liam Rossini Jumana Ekesi or Strasbourg. What Ben Chelsea players he has to convince them because Rich coaching your trust to. I'm supposed to trust you.
Okay.
Now what do we do? Now the Chelsea boys, Taiwan when you go in your tomb pay, you could tell. Say, how do we turn this around?
Second minute.
Which
now go now.
Have you ever thought set Nottingham Forest in a season or battle relegation? Because not the moon. Ever Stamford Bridge arresting the key players. Arresting the key players in now. Ever dominated Chelsea. You won't think of it. Europa League game no all game on 1-0 or lead, but they still come to rest players. It means that there was no respect for the Chelsea team. For me, a large scale at day. Chelsea need to be season and be able season a bump make crime crank your baby.
We are not moving players,
Rich.
Because it seems like the Chelsea book game we now result number. And there are discussions around the Chelsea team.
Yeah.
Coaching. But the players themselves, Caicedo, Enzo, I mean, these are big fishes.
Yeah.
I say, Enzo Fernandez. You don't need a coach now. But can't say, look, champion less than this is in Chelsea. This thing is a player never.
Yeah, it means that I am in the past. I say players are big fishes. So it means that players are big fishes. No, first year so Romeo Lavia, Bob, one midfield, ne balance, the other. Rich, psychologically, if you are not there, forget about it. I can tell you for a fact, if Chelsea had Haaland in their team today, had Olise in the team will struggle. Because psychologically, they are gone. Anytime I mean, who say, this summer is a crunch time. So Chelsea, if we're not getting it right this summer, in the next 5 years, the team can become like a Brighton and a Crystal Palace. They ought to get it right. Manager. And because manager, you are a banner, they will ask for control.
You dream banner, no.
Say Chelsea be do Brighton.
Chelsea be do Brighton one level.
Na say how na.
Ebianka, you be league table de bia mo de 15.
Some mu ko duru na mo say ba. Mu duru na mo. Na me amado na. Mo wi ni be 7 matches na mo say ba so.
We dream bad no. Mo ne Brighton na mo pre of more. 15, 14, 13 de bia. So sad. It
was a very very bad game and Chelsea legend Thiago Silva stands in him. He looked very frustrated. Now, former Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel.
But I know your manager, because like you said, project be no blip.
Yes.
So, it is a blip now, bano.
Yeah.
What is the way forward?
Yes. Rich Uni. At top level football, sacking managers because they don't get results. They sack managers because who are not able to manage pressure. Time say Drua. If you don't manage the pressure, well, you get sacked. Graham Potter. Liam Rossini.
Amorim the same thing.
Amorim. Like when team turning around.
Yes, share no got na dugout.
You are
3 times.
Only option.
Yes, no create na park no so kra wa origi. Who na your coach na? Obejuno na players na 10 no me wa. Almost coach kra o gide we no.
Oni bibia ye biem.
No, more what was a brand when you're down.
Yeah, only bibia ye biem.
Players no so massa. Then give you now coach graduate.
We'll see how
the Champions League
summer unfolds.
Into us.
And Arsenal we felt ABC away at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Now, Rich, okay, Emra na Pep Guardiola ever Premier League game no. Omo say Pep and survive with Premier League game no. Uni matches and they were pointing towards. Emra match ni bi. Who's the first no? Na Premier League no. You put the long intensity on Gina near corner back.
Stoke City
But Emra game was a clear-cut example of those who thought that Pep will not succeed in Europe, in England, no, will come to. But who's on no buy, no? But Pep is too good. And your respect, I mean, woman Salah Seges now. Pep is crazy. He changed the generation. Born here, boy, England, no? Or the need the enemy force English for almost a son. And then most of the teams want to play like Pep's team. They've gone away from that because he constantly got success with that. And David Moyes, he stuck to his principles. Now, me who be that? At some point in time, I told myself, Everton players, no matter hypnotize and I won't panic has something happened to them. Because Eleman in DIE, Barry, almost pressing, counter pressing, we need born up. And I asked myself, what is going on here? But although Manchester City could not win the game, I don't think all the blame has to go to our branch friend Mark Gay. I think he has been fantastic for them since he came. Only used to times like this when you have to hold on to a lead. He hasn't been there before in a title charge, and then now you could tell that it got to him. But before then, he was fantastic in that regard. Which there is one thing that makes Manchester City for no outstanding, and it's the quality of players. And now, but for Jeremy Doku, I think we could have essentially said the title race was over. But Sago Nunya finally, gave Manchester City a fighting chance again, and we'll see. Pep said they'll try. As long as the season goes on, they'll try. For us now, the focus will be an enemy. I want to say, I'll let it go for 4-0 this season. Yeah. Sanka we didn't Kenya matter.
Imagine.
It's a Besashian game.
I know Bernard Brandt enemy didn't come over.
Yeah.
I don't say. So no, Mikel Arteta can focus on. I'm not call the EPL. And I'm besides that, then say, look. The Champions League, when you say they are and there, Arsenal bet Atletico Madrid aqua final. But the two teams now, Arsenal bet you shall not final. Either PSG or Bayern. Arsenal to shall mubia.
But said only
it's only not dream free Champions League. So no man attention and call EPL.
Rich and ne. Baby Arsenal Nibia, including Mikel Arteta, and then the players from Adrian one. A Champions League semi-final second leg with Emirates. I don't even think they would widely celebrate Manchester City's draw. Results, they will say, City are dropping points. But they will not widely celebrate it because the focus will be on today's game. Say, final now. We have about 3 weeks or so to get to the final. Between there, they would win the league before they go to the Champions League final. Say, so get to the final. Then go and play in the English Premier League. Then you can focus on the final. Fine, but by then you would have won the league. Yeah. I think that any of these two teams are because both of them, neither of them have won the Champions League before. Mikel Arteta say we will take the pitch as beasts tomorrow to get to the final, and I think it's a make or break for them. Now there's an interesting record for Arsenal. UEFA Champions League home knockout, 13 wins, 8 draws, 8 losses. And the most interesting part is this generation. And I tell you around when Arsenal are playing at home in the knockout stages, I are heading so the show. Now in the last few years against Spanish opposition, win against Sevilla, Girona, Madrid, home and away last season, and then Athletic Bilbao, then Atletico de Madrid, almost Bordeaux and run. For Atletico de Madrid in a Champions League semi-final against an English opposition, they've not lost a single game. And Arsenal, so against the Spanish opposition, have been very dominant in playing against them. It is a game where you know for sure, say it will come down to the wire. Now, what's the story now, Mark? Atletico Madrid from Bedu England, almost some normal hotel next and come down. I'm a new hotel.
Cheap.
And he be say, "Oh, what? Be say, "Oh, chose."
As a bag no bed.
Is it not superstitious? And also, how do they form? Let's do like 50 season or 200. Because who will come grab £1,000 a night? It's cheap, no?
5-star.
They've changed the stadium.
Okay.
I think that's superstitious.
Okay.
Say the results that he had then, and he went on to say it's different. It's quickly. Yeah. If you look at the two starting lineups of both teams, two things have happened. I like the fact that Atletico Madrid have a full flex side back in the game. Matt Pubel, Hanko, Loriente, Ruggeri, Koke, Bentefeni, Johnny Cardoso, Guglielmo Simeone, Lukman, Julian Alvarez, and Bentefeni Griezmann. Which is only idea interesting. Julian Alvarez ain't fully fit too. And I don't pay. There's a video that has come out. All pacey up and down. Simeone person are fit to play the game. Only 100% on your fit. For Arsenal, it is Saliba, Gabriel, Mosquera, Henkapi, Rice, Zubimendi, Eze, Trossard, Gyökeres, and Abrante Friendly Bukayo Saka. I've said it several times. The two fullbacks are to deal with Guglielmo Simeone and Lukman because all the wide area threats now Atletico Fonikitano. And if they're able to deal with them, they get a job done against them. Rich, I'm way at Arsenal. Arsenal have not lost in the Champions League still. So this is how I recorded that. And they are playing at home against Atletico de Madrid. They won't lose the game. They won't lose the game. But Arsenal need more than not losing the game to qualify. So because of draw first leg. So they need to win this if we don't want to qualify outright. But I know for sure, and then the best code I'm remember on TFO, none of the picks tells me that Arsenal will lose the game. But the game can also travel to extra time, and that is where the game can be decided in a different fashion. Honestly, in my opinion, I don't see Arsenal losing tonight against Atletico de Madrid. That is it for me.
We have
Manchester City and Ania Egu boys name 10 odds pa baby na at sometimes means the boys don't mean investors na to be almost filiana. Sometimes I feel it. But Tennessee City actually 1-0 na be sure they game economy say they be say.
But me so result na anya me surprise ba ko crowd.
Asa no pa na on highlight.
Some me catch ayala. Me catch ayala say sa game we and be Man City team in the league no.
Ena pampa.
Everton. Omo some enye denting time bo bi omo bobo no osro omo boni apem
The Moyes are very.
It's me na nim say Pep into survival. The best will be a draw.
First code no and we 13 odds a BW53A1E89F. Second one a BW53A1F92A. Third one a BW53A2127A. Fourth one a BW53A24974. Which and the last one a BW53A24EF2. Rich.
Okay. That's it. Yes, so yeah, that's Ebenezer. I say Arsenal will still lose the league. Arsenal fans shouldn't jubilate yet. Sylvester Mensah, I say for me, I will never believe this Chelsea project is bad. Maybe it's because of Chelsea. Because the fans are used to the Roman Abramovich era. This project can work well in a club with low pressure and expectations. So, Enye far from say okay. George, I see Fifi, last season you were comparing Caicedo and Rice. Why are you not doing this? I say why are you not doing it this season? Oh, really? That comparison really. Is it why? Auntie, you move on now. Francis Tata say in a Tata we trust. Nana Kofi is my name. Kipkos, okay. And also the Abraham Jacob. I say watching my team Chelsea play like watching inter-schools competition. Poor play. Okay. The Canadians say yedi ebeso. Okay. yɛnto dwumadi no so mfa mma mo a wobɛtumi de message no aba na ɛkenkan adi ama opoku mante ase Arsenal is beating ATM by 3-0. It's a done deal. Okay. Also message out there aben mpacho fufu party no this month here on the 16th. Enti utiem ya mpacho wa lezimiem bwa hoto na edane drew a hanya casual because if you be avini coach suit ni ade bia ba show t-shirt bi no show jeans so or banzo apade bia ye simple na wa she na a simple bandai so now so etimi abana inina no inshare from yanim ha ya afifufu party mo ma menti ade bi ncha me vat na company from pese be kaba me ka kire mo on say ya house fufu party bebre ya bebre we yanim ha ba fi de na ba sonko because afi yede nnuane bi kura be san ka ho ntie die ena enam no ye sade fresh one se sade aba be ka ho nti afifufu party no a unique dem sonko na nnuane fufu no ne nnuane fufu ba be ka ho nti nnuane be don so pa ene nam no ene nkwane so ye be different nti obi obeba bia no obenya aduane ni bi enso adi nti odi etro date ne to 16th May eda no Saturday in share from anim ha ya ye de dwumadie no enso de be hyehyɛ so o ba de ohia eye wasanka ana wayewa na wato ediaba na oba be difufu no uwia na bebia afi bai bia no wasan akọ na dwumadie Guinness Cold Store oma baba so asene makacho se open nam ato a se nam wan kasa ne bia woto na ko izu ofie ana onu aduane wa bonten ana open nam edi akwakoton a me patroni dina no ba Greenwich a wo sabetumi aka enam ne bi enam bia pe bia kokonam sausage beef enam bia me patro yeton bi awo aye Greenwich Cold Store yewo Kumasi appeared ya yeni Roman sorry die no na aye opposite 0530 7899 90 and your number I don't know me patro Medimosis Process Center makacho Medimosis there prostate bembe bia wutie me bia on check prostate na ko no mon check prostate no emfama emema bebre edrume bi na ne nase atatai ne nefo akese yesese bi obi na aboni dua betenetena hwa na wowu enne nim dia me sese adoto na eye prostate so na e course sa aniama no me ba choko na enchekini na kama enso emfama awo Medimosis Process Center ya wo no enso ha akobane so problem bia de bema na oba woman so no munina mo nko ho yen clinic ne awo ahinema kokoben Obuasi Santasi Road 0248 71 2812 and near Medimosis and number I don't know na Edufly travel consult obo so tu kwan akwa abruche we student obo so kosua de ewa abruche okoye degree or masters bibia ewa abruche mpachaw Edufly and edoko now so akwa kosua de ewa abruche apart from no ebia wo no person konsra to and also betimi edo akọ a business trip and also person make here indina eyade a ye be arrangement kama ediama Schengen visa me part European country bia obetimi edi akọ oboso ko US Canada nom but broche country bia no eye Edufly and ye kama edi amawo tikita de be call okwa hotel abeda sa reservation indina ne be kama and so etimi edi amayo Kumasi denyame Dampon Pharmacy building in the second floor 0535 516363. The Toto Krana Yentoson Famono a Faith Homeopathic Center. Faith me patro a bia yen fire de engwa and some P. Into your diabetes hepatitis B, Uduraha Piem, diabetes when ni anomene sexually transmitted diseases need nano Uduraha. Ubejani na ho. Da bibia kama enso di amount ho de yade na tese den yebetu ase enso edi amount yenso yo Kumasi ahenma kokoben amomo wo seveje mun ko bogo so enkan e wo so tiom 0244 583 859 amo endina no na asomu anyame adoma fu party no enso ebas Josh good morning na se bibia bokode rich money yeah metonka correct se bibia fine bibia bokonyame adum na so nyame adum And I'm known and Chelsea match and I would done. Chelsea knew a team started game now about 10 minutes. Or 10 any baby.
Yeah, so I
don't know how to use the team to pay. Oh, no problem. You're better okay. Him say, and changing.
Say after a game, now many Preston you didn't come. And now our casting be was saying, say, it looks like now the Chelsea no the
broken
Adriga.
That's a move.
And I was saying, say, yeah, in fact, one would not have expected, say, such a result would have happened. But only say, at this point, no, it's very difficult for Chelsea fans to even think of what will happen next.
My next game against Liverpool.
Yeah, in Liverpool. You be Anfield. Ne you Man City abo FA Cup final. You are Nottingham Forest at home. Before the final day, no, Yako Sunderland. Reach all of these 3 remaining fixtures. Fixtures are you cannot stick your head out and even think say Chelsea can get more than 6 points from these 3 games. Because on the face of the results, Chelsea is at an all-time low. The last time at Chelsea lose 6 games on the spin was in '93. When you look at the way Enra or more Bobo now, you wonder, are they really Mr. Obi Wechro on tactical mami? Come say a movie. Yeah. You wonder, say, what exactly is going on? Because when the game started, within 2 minutes, now we'll consider goal. And you wonder exactly what it is. Say a loss of concentration or say and no, whilst I was watching the game, I woke up no. At the point I realized that game we so it's better you use your time for something else. Because no, it was very clear. Say once the game started, Rich, Tottenham Hotspur knew exactly what they wanted to get from the game.
2 minutes on match.
Come on. And Oshe Taiwo Awuni ni positioning in the boxer. You would have expected Obi to say Chaluba
to close him.
Come on, Rich, just look at this. You are in the box before the cross, every far side, Abba inside. No? Malo Gusto had tracked his man down, at least very close to him and behind him. He knew said there was a threat. But in front of him was an Awoni. Chaluba was also standing right ahead of him, looking to header and clear the ball. And you allow Awoni to score this very easy goal. 2 minutes down the clock. Rich, it looks to me as though indeed the Chelsea players are tired. So this is the kind of performance you get from a tired team. Yes, Casa Ekoso, Maresca, Sissakin, bringing in Liam Rosinia and all of that. I can understand the fact, say, Chelsea fans are disappointed in how Impeyifona are running the team. No? But Rich, when you have just a few games to go, and on a weekend where Brighton elusu in the game, Fulham elusu in the game, Liverpool elusu in the game, and all of these teams are in and around you. So get the win and increase your chances of finishing top 4 or top 5 and our top 6 round. But you cannot lose concentration 2 minutes in the game and not expect to be punished. And that was what we saw. The second goal, no. Just look at the situation, Rich. Just look at the situation in the box. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Chelsea players. And how many Nottingham Forest players? Just 2 in the box. But you allowed so much space. And look at the silly tackler, Malo Gusto. When you know that your man has passed you and he's definitely going to score a goal, just leave him. For all you know, in the cross will be a bit and the ball will not even end up in the net. But such a silly error to make. What you know? With expectations, say referee no on my penalty and accident. I really don't understand the thinking of Malo Gusto in this particular situation. Because you don't put yourself in such a position to concede a very sloppy penalty. Almost second goal. Now, Rich, so many people are saying, say, Kopama is washed, and if you don't take care, he'll not go for the World Cup. I may want to side with some of them. But the truth of the matter is that the selection for the World Cup is down to Thomas Tuchel Obeye. Yes, on the face of it, Cole Palmer has lost a lot of form. He has not been himself. Obama Chmukrana, his energy is very low. But I want Chelsea fans to be patient with this young man. Because the fact alone that he's very committed to the project. When other teammates are saying different things, he still has an idea or a vision for both himself and for Chelsea Football Club. Utum say no a penalty, no say no. People never expected it because Nottingham Forest. Now when your penalty in a game where nothing seems to be going your way. And Palmer is behind the penalty.
That's an more than for having 2-0.
Yes, 2-0.
To the Shenanya 2-1.
You would expect Cole Palmer ice cold Obiaya ready to celebrate. Only for the penalty to be missed. Yes, Cole Palmer is not at the best. But let's cut him some slack because in the very difficult times at Chelsea when we needed goals in the past, he came through for us. And every player will go through some of these seasons where or you need to still pick up yourself and keep running. After the World Cup conversation, because it depends on what Thomas wants.
Too early,
it's too early for us to be calling for some of these things. But Rich, I think this guy needs to be commended a lot. Vitor Pereira. I would say this season, people have underestimated the form that Nottingham Forest have picked up going to the end of the season. Why? Because almost the coach, this will be their fourth manager for the season. But Oba inside, and I listened to him and I followed him very carefully. When he took the job at Nottingham Forest, he realized that look, it was not necessarily about the tactics. Because if you have four different managers, by now the players are overloaded with how to play the game. But I realized in terms of how to manage the egos of the players, introducing something like music in training to give them more motivation.
Wow.
Those were some of the very simple things that Obaye, he allowed them to do what they wanted to do. And those are some that have made a difference for Nottingham Forest and Vitor Pereira. And I'll be thinking about Evangelos Marinakis. And I'll be saying to myself, say, Papa Nenibe Japan. Well, this is what he wanted.
Yeah.
As to whether it was the right thing to do to sack all of these managers, maybe you may disagree with that.
Sometimes players know it's psychological.
And that is the thing.
Michael Carrick about Manchester United. It's in the first meeting with the players.
Yeah.
I know catch a players and they say, look, me bana mabano. And yet
yeah.
Let's go back to the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Players is number 2, original number 2.
Yeah.
Player profiling, right? Then I will feel some do coach number 2. Now then I bet my team do it.
What team good?
And yet Chinchina, Yankoba 3 back, Yankoba 4 back. You could give them a. The FU say be my result. Let's do it.
Yeah.
The Mumu players in the park is Mumu feel some the result be mine. Do it.
Good. And that is what Vitor Pereira has done. And
the result that they are Manchester United.
Because now they can safely tell themselves that they've avoided relegation.
Because who say players no do sa stage now.
Yeah.
Pressure about so that.
Yeah. Building very high.
So bombardou with tactics. Now mama di mo yeah. Park go to go some day.
Yeah.
Allow very them true. Fundamentals no ubuntu modu 2 we born 3 4 5. Obi no main result. That's it. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Momo there. Me say money Liverpool no. Say answer to Traupa na Chelsea to which na come back as if
Rich I do the remember later.
Yeah, man lead the charge and pam no.
Me say
Chelsea way.
As for but Rich Chelsea no I don't think
players no
but Rich
psychologically
but the truth is that if Chelsea are very honest with themselves, they say they're marking. In Pennyfono nim say at the end of the season a lot of things will have to be done drastically in terms of say overhauling or say players now because there are some players who need to be removed from this team and it's very clear. Obviously Liam Delap, I don't see the future he has.
Total overhauling.
Oh, Rich, you don't agree with me?
No.
You don't agree with me? I don't know.
If you say 1 or 2 be penny somewhere.
No, there is one.
You see, me personal opinion.
Good.
The Chelsea are me sure. I don't think team near bad. They be a catch Chelsea in Libya where madam for. The team is not bad. But the other woman say sometimes say we do stage we say not team no result number affect players na kanina. It will good crana. Once I in the performance as I perform.
Yeah.
And a typical example is Manchester United. There was a point. If you only Bruno, there be Obama stand out performance. Players now can from A to Z. Obiaba and performance and I think that Chelsea problem no ebia goalkeeping se mutimi solve you are good to go more defense or no center backs or no at least munya 1 or 2 be ado argument to her it's okay midfield me sure say especially with the central midfield rule more problem gidi ebia wings or no and I also munya 1 be and 2 be ado argument to no then one prolific striker
forward
you are good to go.
The reason why I'm talking about an overhaul is say it may not even necessarily be about the players.
Okay.
In terms of mentality.
Okay.
Because on say no who be I'm say Thiago Silva was at the stadium and throughout the game he was not happy. But Omoji camera echo see Rhys James so on the bench he was smiling and I'm saying that we are reading too much meaning into those things. I mean, it could be for any other reason at all. Rhys James, ABA out the bench, so be a card, ABA at the next 3, and I was 3. And I come and Kuchano. After you say he's laughing because he's not a good captain. I don't think those things should be entertained. But when you look at it critically, there needs to be a change in the mindset of the players. And I honestly feel said Chelsea, if they'll have to do it, start from the top. Rich, Edna, I was watching the game live, and Edrum Rebiong. Also, I've always come to say here that Manchester City would win the league. But after a game, no, and after everything that happened, no, one would also expect Semiba will come and eat humble pie. Rich, let me say this on record. Say, I still think that Manchester City has a very good chance of winning the league. Mm-hmm. That is what I think.
Okay.
Do you know why? Mm-hmm. Say in psychology, there's something called atikiphobia. At this point, no, that is what Arteta will be facing. And atikiphobia no is simply the fear of failure. On say baby you doing running no. We say na or twen so brane be she. Okay, it means to make a shot. Then the pressure will swing to another direction. At this point, Arsenal for share over the weekend, no, the pressure came to Man City. But now that Man City has dropped points, no, the pressure will go back to Arsenal and Arteta because in their minds they need to win that game against West Ham or London Stadium to give them a better chance of winning the league. But I think that is the game where if they would want to falter, we may see something over there. Because West Ham is also trying to survive relegation. And also know it's up and down. But in that game at the London Stadium, they also know say everything hinges on their winning or getting a point from that game. So to me, no, it is very difficult for us now to keep their composure at this point. Because Arteta Ansunim said today he has to play Champions League. Yeah. Now he has to try and manage the games, manage the players in terms of their fitness levels as well. But how are they going to play that game against West Ham? They will have that fear of failure in them. Say, hey, game we I was see a call near try, you share one goal like you defend it. If that is the kind of mindset they will go into that game with, Rich, I can tell you for a fact that Arsenal will lose or they will play a draw when everybody expects them to win.
How's it in so games?
But Rich, I can understand. Say, according to what Guardiola says, it is not in our hands. Before it was. Now it's not. We have games left, we'll see what will happen. And until the running is over, it is not over.
Okay.
If you're looking at a team like West Ham and Arsenal at the London Stadium, Arsenal will be going away from home. And they know that that game is more like a final. If they win, I mean, celebrations will begin. I think that is where Arsenal can falter. But look at the new game. Just look at the brilliance of Jeremy Doku. Right foot, and then later, left foot, and then later, right foot. And I was so happy because in the game, Haaland was not showing up. Semenyo was not showing up. Doku took the charge upon himself. Said Obetinyabwa to help in winning. But Rich, I realized one thing about Everton. First half, no, they didn't really get the tempo right. But once the game came into the second half, no, I saw what David Moyes was trying to do. He started going long into Pickford Nyabo now. He will go long. Then once they're able to get the second balls, then they try and speed into the box of Man City. In India in your first chance, no, or say no. But right after that, that was when the mistake from Mark Guehi happened. And when you look very carefully, Mark Guehi is simply in a position where he has not been before, and that's the truth. Because Oshe at this particular position, the threat was not there. Tieno Barry was close to him, but not on him. He would have played the ball to Donnarumma, and then they will recycle their possession. But Tieno Barry was also very smart. Looking at the position of Mark Guehi, it was very clear that he was signaling to Donnarumma. Donnarumma was not watching him. Okay. Into Osha, you see that Donnarumma simply didn't come forward early. And at Tieno Barry, any chance. And then Oshe go. Now, Maminko to Champions League. On say now Arsenal have their minds in two places, the Champions League and then the Premier League. But any game would not be a repeat of what we saw in the first leg. The reason why I'm saying this is because both managers, Akasa, and some of the players are also speaking. Now, Oshe very closely at what they are saying now. One sounds very technical and tactical. The other sounds very emotional. Mikel Arteta, or say, I can't wait. I feel the energy in and amongst the team. Our supporters, and also these are the moments that we want to live together. We had a lot of work as a club to do and as a team after 20 years to be in this position again. So we are so hungry to get a game that we want tomorrow and go through to the final. Vitor Gyökeres and Swakasa. So when you look at them, they are relishing a chance of playing in the Champions League final. But when you listen to Diego Simeone, any Atletico Madrid, Antoine Griezmann and Swakasa, or say, I'm going to tell my players to play like they did in the second half at home. We will try to play the match that needs to be played with the intensity it demands. We have a lot of faith in what we want to do. Rich, it is very simple. The game is going to be quite technical on the side of Atletico Madrid. They are away from home. Arsenal, on the other hand, will try to pounce on them. And to know what will make the difference is that Atletico Madrid need to relish their chances moving forward. Until Obiti says Simeone and I say Ademola Lookman, once they recycle possession, I was saying fast to get the ball into space, because that is what would be the strength of the team. They are definitely coming back to defend. So in this game, they need to look at it as a game where they will defend and get their chances on the break. But Arsenal's one big problem is how they defend on the counter. They are not so good, and they tend to make a lot of mistakes. And this is one of the very simple ways the game could go. It could go from start to finish the same intensity.
It's one or the Neko final.
Rich, I think Arsenal is playing at home, and everybody thinks that with the home advantage, they should be the ones to qualify. But I think there could be a surprise today. I think this might be a surprise. And if the game goes into extra time, it becomes worse for Arsenal. Because the fear factor may creep in. But if home, say
Obi also predicts Arsenal will beat ATM. It is a game maybe I have 90 minutes so no.
The opponent becomes
no players no more questions.
Yes. Okay. You get the point. And I think that is how.
So you think ATM can surprise Arsenal?
There could be
by in a nutshell, no why now final.
No, ATM beko final.
ATM beko final.
Yeah. Okay. Now and then me work codes be a person.
No problem. Any abo fast now.
And the good screen is so no to share Nhyira TV. You can pick up the codes by omo muti radio no so me boss na omo person mu koefikasiam. You can also pick it up. In the first code na BW 53A 90A21. BW 53A 90A21. Second code no BW 53A 8FF09. BW 53A 8FF09. Now third code no so BW 53A 8E9A6. BW 53A 8E9A6. Now the next one BW 53A 8BD00. BW 53A 8BD00. Now the next one also BW 53A 8B25C. BW 53A 8B25C. Okay. Last one no BW 53A 8A2F6. BW 53A 8A2F6. Rich. yemfa
good luck to be obetwa bi na yamafie but message kakra bi na yenhwa Asante Kotoko nsensem no. The storyteller say, I said it. This guy just hates Mikel Arteta. How can you be thinking about extra time here? Oh, Debbie. Yes, sure, say, Joshua, Ompe Arteta sem. I don't know. Oh, game no na oka. Adios. First and foremost, Joshua made a prediction that Fulham will cause Arsenal to drop point and City will beat Everton. But as well as also the two predictions didn't work out. Okay, so a prediction. Into prediction, you bet me for baby. All right, I'm saying only 2 messages now. I come back with the man. You call to the next day now. But before I come in next message, I'm kindly and I catch them say, you better come and say Asante Kotoko. Asante Kotoko in focus. And I'm gonna be the focal point. I will your discussion say person here. I will a fear. Na adentina ye discuss Asante Kotoko this season. I come here and say Asante Kotoko coaching aye issue pa. There be a team the book game we na result na amba. Na discussions around the team no aye coaching no onya there tactically there baby brain ya. But it seems Kotoko as a coach is Karim Zito nom Prince Owusu na baba fema. And say the current coach on the Kuta Asante Kotoko. Hamza Obin on so Kuta still now no result no Edema Enkoye. Now over this season I say Yabo week 30 and a year with some few matches to go no. Asante Kotoko on the league table. So one more abo a year 30 matches said the Medinkai Akano. 30 matches no mabono. Asante Kotoko enyamu 43 points. 30 matches no. Well, 43 points. Now, the wins are when you Marco 11, which is a Dubako. And now, Yashano 9 times. And this season, teams are Shano 9. And now, what draw 10. Goals are no what Shano 34. The Asha Dietiano no 24. OTT Eddie Fuma. Goal difference, 10. And now, Otoso Onwache. Our Liga Chidiano so after Madi 30. Na Sanamedin Kai Achechebuno this season, Kotoko coaches are, but it seems like still now a result no bar and na ember. Na Omuko I'm gonna dreams a gaming, Omupo game no, and a section of the Asante Kotoko fans are an opportunity to create game nibi. And so at two Brantia friends Hamzata, Brante Mikai, Ebra Kotoko Behusi has. I come out of Barcelona. You didn't buy studio, and then the bedin come and a supporters no. And question a brand is a massa. As your crow come, your crow comes at the BI, your game, ya near the blame in the Emma, a coaches, but it seems more players, no more and more problem. Yenti a brand response or the Emma Asante Kotoko fans are almost a Puchinana or Mubusano as our question.
Hamza, then pourquoi il fait Lions il y a
Okay, and a session of the Asante Kotoko fans, and now Ebusa Abrante Musa Hamzata. Our free Lions are joining Kumasa Sanokono. Omusa as a catcher, what you team catching. A day near cost of players and a day because who particular who Hamzate. Who Lions now bobo pass as a Obako to go. You do like him cranium and fat. Obobo and Emfa. Catching. Only Umianum, dear pan Ecosua. Result no intimate Emma. I ran to more catch your man say. Munyabatre. Na players and Enzo Boko Trasi. Na Yedin Comonia. Dear Eco supporting Tiama result no. Intimate Enqui. Kofi? Kotoko Timmy, a players na coaching.
That's too simplistic.
Okay.
We need to approach a problem, sir. I think Kotoko even goes beyond just the coach. Kotoko ni Chelsea, I'm a pro.
As a more,
is he aware?
Some similarities.
The only thing that's Kotoko share Chelsea should be. We Chelsea Kotoko di was a.
Where dear me? Obi to say, oh, a brand new way or Kotoko ni pos. Hi Chelsea ni kasi pa.
I'm checking it.
Cape Woody. Okay. Cape Woody. Kotoko ni kasi say Chelsea ni kasi. And when this season they were dear me. Okama ni abui. If you so abui.
Who's fundamentally Kotoko a club. I go through a lot of phases. Which instability are there more teams. And unse say usesa u team na unya ni maybe writer utimi back onto the skill and results. But say usesa u team that's when unya ni writer it affects you. Now I'll give you examples. First of uko BBN Go Stars weekend mini chairman kwabere kwasi do din komo. You guys Abraham was a managers. Now go for new managers after a season and none were winning league. Even me I criticize him. What is the trick? No, so sometimes what was some manager there, but you add a few things to it. But at Kotoko, a lot of changes have gone on. From the board perspective and unavailable Kotoko, managerial perspective, a chunk of those who were managing Kotoko were not even 100% with the club. And then Ushe coaches the assistant. I think they are problematic. One of the things also is that Kotoko team, most of the times players they buy for the specific manager. To go more wholesale changes the players will buy. And I feel what's the name? Karim Zito. And so buy no for players in Biba. All of that has not worked. I think Kotoko have been given a big opportunity to say Nhyira Adoma this summer. Do get things right. And for me, Kotoko started our process now the board is in place. Board they are looking at who becomes the Kotoko new CEO. Then the plan for Kotoko goes there. CEO will look at the kind of coach or pay, the short-term plan and then the long-term plan. Players ben on Toma club, what is the sporting direction of which I think Kotoko have an opportunity to restart the things that he did, there's a big chance in which Nhyira starting no kick starting the right to the kind of players on better and the kind of board that will come in. Of course, boarding is saying him, but the kind of CEO baba. Adi Bako CEO baba for Kotoko Juma and only 23 Bako and they say the Kotoko fans are interested in results. Every other thing does not matter. If you don't get results for the Kotoko fans, that is where you have a problem. So results in the bar. The micro analysis of the team will stop. The CEO ban. There has to be a rights manager. And I don't know how like Kacho say there is a likelihood that it's going to be an expert who's going to be the manager. But for me, that in itself, ain't the most important thing. Whoever becomes the manager, so you're good enough, or you're top coach. Top coach. You see, when we say a top coach, it's not just about tactical setups. People always make that mistake. So, because to be a top coach, you tactics. Which Eneoka Karekasem, Yeka Victor Pereira Masem. All the changes they made in the team is what makes them a top coach.
Because psychological,
tactically, they have done a good job on the team tactically. Obey tactical work. But ABN team problem any tactical. The team's problem probably was about confidence, psychological, emotional. How to make some of the players even feel important. So Uba, you have to identify the Kotoko problem and then solve it specifically.
Frank Lampard was it interview or so?
Yeah.
Was it just a no buy no? I know friend no catch and say, Frank. Now when you say we are seeing now midfielders who wouldn't bobo jobia. Was this day now when you can't ask me channel. And then the team to a park as well. Play a bio bishia biano, no cry catches or wouldn't bobo there.
Exactly.
Now where Mourinho?
Yeah.
As in the Bobo Chell.
Yeah. Mourinho has a knack of getting the best out of players.
And when you're the best out of Frank Lampard.
Jose Mourinho second coming. The same thing. Catch John Terry say you'll be my starting centre back. John Terry boy in your results. So for me, it's very important to look at the Kotoko problem holistically. Which this board and their management, if they feel Kotoko, it's going to be bad. All the smaller clubs, Adriana, they've appointed a brilliant CEO and they've given the keys to the club. And Omoma Chuba Arestika Eye Jumano, which I'll give you a key example. When it comes to things like PR, a idea bakwa very important, Rich. And they realize say a atapuku strength. Say ni pakasa atorenchema to or hanobe represent a club no name some obeka reading the room. So nano ye no free mom domafoko. Look at how he spoke to represent the club. He puts the club in a good light. And in fact, by extension, for Domamine, a good representation for them. Rich, when you look at club, it is a mediama. Rich, most pack a Jumana Waye Ewa Takwano is yielding results. Ibrahim Tanko has given them stability and almost a blend of experience and young players. Salima Damsma Boligri Bida. Suleiman Amo. These crop of guys have been well traveled with Premier League game. And I don't know you see
and the same Kotoko story here.
No, I'll come to it.
Okay.
You see Mubarak Munia they are there. Former Kotoko. So either you have a stability or boardroom and then you guide the players. Which may so tell me. Then you go to a club like BBN Gold Stars. One singular owner. Stability or boardroom. And on him, even if a coach goes, how to tweak things to get results. Look at where clubs like Samates have come from. To get stability in that area and also finding the players to deliver for them. For Kotoko, it is different. Kotoko have not had the same faces in the club for 5 years at a go. Board fast one new board aba, new management beba, yasisa coach. Every time there is a change in either one or two of the key areas of the Kotoko team. Yasisa coach, CEO and Kwa, yasisa obi board. So there is a lot of change. Yeah, pump 15 players. Exactly. 20 players. Yeah, confer whole team. So that speaks about the club's direction. And that is what I'm saying, that this board, on all levels, financial, representation of the club, the CEO would have to be a proper representation of the Kotoko team. And yes, sir, they are going to be in big waters. Because say has a problem back up. There's only one problem has a problem when you say they've not been able to buy. And has this season, they would have been able to compete better than Kotoko. In fact, as it stands now, they are competing better than Kotoko. An experienced manager now, Didi Dramani, you can't have reservations around Didi. And I'm going to keep you in place to be on him. And then making sure that the core of the day-to-day run of how to focus still around. Maybe people criticize Tobe anyhow constantly, or keep it Alajimo, any friends say Honorable Vincent walk around the club. But these are people that also know the ins and outs of the club. It's Kotoko would have to be up and doing this summer. It has to be right. In some cases, Kotoko ni Chelsea a pet. Chelsea chen Kotoko ane bieska. Beno crown you could see you was catching home. They have to do things right. Whoever the CEO will be, whoever the coach will be, but no, they need to get it right. I mean, Kotoko's marketing, all of those things. It's very, very important.
I know you 100%. So how will say changes? No,
those Kotoko's a sandodo.
The BI was season back just one season. Yeah, 15 players.
There are changes.
Now season has had another 15.
Even away from that,
yeah, projects are.
Uton players Kwampua. You keep certain people at the club.
That's it. But you're finding institutional memory. No?
Yeah,
very, very important.
Coach goes, board goes, management goes, that goes. I mean, it becomes like
because Ebia, you see, and like you said, players here are yes, we are bad players. They are good players. But the reason is say player no or team na ko fan the buy. It will take time and so on it could go team na fa. It is over one season now. Ya pamomo. You have started season for ya sa ko fa player for the omaba. Sa ya about the season we you know the same result na. Ti the be has a project no ko na nim da. No man starting sa. So how say changes in there? As I said, like you said, the be result we are and I'm from homra. See him say I'm in Dawson. See na says oh you been a buy no. As I met that true me reply query do.
That's too simplistic.
Okay.
We need to approach a problem, sir. I think Kotoko even goes beyond just the coach. Kotoko ne Chelsea, I'm a pill.
That's a more.
Is he aware?
Some similarities.
The only thing that's Kotoko share Chelsea should be. Where Chelsea does Kotoko India was a.
Where dear me? Obi to say, oh, a brand new or you could go Nipos. Hi, Chelsea Nikas.
I'm checking it.
Cape Weddy. Okay. Cape Weddy. Could go Nikas says I Chelsea Nikas. And when this season they were dear me. Oh, come on, in your boy. If you so a boy.
Was it fundamentally Kotoko a club? I go through a lot of phases. Which instability are there more teams. And unze se osesa u team na unya nyoma bi writer utimi ba back onto the skill and results. But se osesa u team na se unya nyoma writer it affects you. Now I'll give you examples. First of uko BBN Go Stars weekend mini chairman kwabere kwasi edu din komo. You guys Abra no was sign managers. Now go for new managers aba. After a season and none were winning league. Even me I criticize him. What is the trick? No, so sometimes over some manager there, but you add a few things to it. But at Kotoko, a lot of changes have gone on. From the board perspective and unavailable Kotoko, managerial perspective, a chunk of those who were managing Kotoko were not even 100% with the club. And then Ushe coaches the assistant. I think they are problematic. One of the things also is that Kotoko team, most of the times players they buy for the specific manager. To go wholesale changes the players will buy. And I feel what's the name? Karim Zito. And so buy no go for players in Bibabe. All of that has not worked. I think Kotoko have been given a big opportunity to say Nyamia Adoma this summer. They'll get things right. And for me, Kotoko started our process now the board is in place. Board they are looking at who becomes the Kotoko new CEO. Then the plan for Kotoko goes there. CEO will look at the kind of coach or pay, the short-term plan and then the long-term plan. Players ben on Toma club, what is the sporting direction of Somoko? Which I think Kotoko have an opportunity to restart the things that he did, there's a big chance in which Nhyira starting your no kick starting the right to the kind of players on Beto and the kind of board that will come in. Of course, boarding is saying him, but the kind of CEO Baba. Adi Bako CEO Baba Foko to Kojuma, that's all the 23 Bako, and they say the Kotoko fans are interested in results. Every other thing does not matter. If if you don't get results for the Kotoko fans, that is where you have a problem. So results in the bar, the micro analysis of the team will stop. The CEO ban, there has to be a rights manager, and I don't know like Kacho say there is a likelihood that it's going to.
Say if you feel net wa sabi na sabi mu team amon fan cheme ha na eja honam kankan so ho e ba sa u ko nipam kura na ayeden me pa cho wo bi a o sa problem na ma men kamfo aye Rexona Dodran no emfa emaw Rexona no ho etiefo san fifre na ete omotom ni ade ni na bacteria ana ade eba enti wo apply Rexona no e omotom first of all stop bacteria no sa ode emfifre no ebeba 2 emamotom eno nipadua na kasa eye sham 72 hours there's a 3 days with the gu ho a utumi sampa why cratch why ababa awo kwa bontia confidently ozo betimi apie na bibia ayekama adiamantimi saw utimi na was our problem na we dey aduraba so Rexona Jordan Tobi na efagu na bibia nya kama emfa emawo na adwana Rexona nko a your lack sam na no enso no di dware a oye tuntuma e ma kala ne da so oye kokon so a enya asem kitokra e na e say sham e free huro kama ntia ma dware enso eye dentimi saw Rexona ane e lack sam na ni na e wudwa so a utobia enso no e betimi aboa ye papa Rexona no open ho ayen komo na watia me ba cha wo betimi akokuma se adum mesesa no che plugs anima opposite boss of bebre awa wo sabetimi akabi 0244 772 599 monso amope relax amana no betimi afre 0244 812 364 anopei omunina ekan ho ena edi dwumadi no enso edi ebem na ene eye mama Efi Amano the special mama
Queen Eleanor
oye bruta mama we Nhyira family no mercy no and the program obra atwani other stations na febi obi aye mama we na starte na mama Efi obi aso start show we presenter utie we presenter museum we presenter but so start show an intro keke now see gu the whole be say ye program no otu anu say yes mama no nyankopon ache na de mama a special day in your life and the day can na say nyankopon onhyiraw na onya okese oma onyiri nche na nindia no enya mo minim say wo fie kura na still na no
so call retirement
1 year pepe nin ene so na ne ba won chen eba abeji eye nchemu pi edi efiu na so ti mama happy birthday to Nyamishaw na onya okese yirim se nimdia no so won so na no ba impact bi oyemu na yenso na etimi edi aye adwuma na kama pa anti happy birthday to you Mama Efi Amano. The second one we Efi the Don ankasa ho.
Oh, Chairman Odogu.
The Don.
Chairman Odogu.
Oh, Wood Village. Sokoba Wood Village. Osia we shina now. Happy birthday. Meza monfa na now ento YouTube and Chat TV. Na ene na now enso birthday. Tinana baby obi an the Don himself. Odogu. Osia we show happy birthday Nyamishaw na onya okese empa ebobi a wabobia no nyankopon enye nyina emfa emaw dana yaw awo Sokobai Wood Village happy birthday to you and yenya Jeff Abuaje ase yemhye eye ama cutie ama cutie ama cutie wo so hwe na wo de hwe no so we do to cute ampa we cute pa
on fa be my birthday man
Debbie we dey nhutwa Jeff ware ne mame why amia na mde aware na tata we dey ware ne mame enti ama cute won so no and your birthday happy birthday to you Bento I say yeah show happy birthday and we so from HR I say yeah Mr. Johnson Opoku happy birthday HR of Insurance FM I say yeah show happy birthday ama HR Mr. Johnson Opoku maybe I will be an nyankopon chiraw na onya okese etiefo yɛmfa mo nsia na yɛnkɔfa adom kaseɛ no ɛmfa mmerɛ mu nyame adom a yɛbɛsan anim ahyɛ yɛsɔre adom kaseɛ na ɛtoa so yɛbaa na ɔbra ato adwumadie no atoa so ɛde amam yɛakra mo nyinaa